Okay,
Me
I'll
like
give you 25 and a half.
25 and a half. That's it? 25 and a half?
25 and a half seconds before we talk about the newest spinoff to the boys, Gen V. Welcome, everybody. Before we get started with a full season reviews, which might take us a little bit, so 5 o'clock was a good call because I'm going through every episode, CNS2. We hadn't reviewed any of them, so we're going to go through all 8 episodes. Guest appearances, what we thought, individual ratings, the whole shebang. So everybody sit tight and welcome. And if you didn't catch it, check out my Halloween special. I was supposed to get go 12 hours.
Pretty disappointed with the Halloween special, I'll tell you that much. Pretty disappointed because, like, right in the thumbnail it says, like you said, 12-hour Halloween spooktacular.
Yeah,
and it quite clearly does not make it 12 hours. It's like 8:30 something, maybe?
Yeah, to be fair, I got super drunk and damn near passed out.
Shocker. Super drunk. I would have never guessed that you, of all people on the internet, would get super drunk.
Oh, yeah,
That's so
it was
strange.
Fun. But we had a great time. Justin Popper made a tier list. It was fabulous. Go check it out. We had some real fun.
Justin was there.
Yeah, we made a Friday the 13th tier list. So we highly debated each other. That alone was like 2.5 hours.
I watched part of it.
Oh yeah, it was great fun. So
I think what did you do right before Halloween? What was it? Was it Friday the 13th right before that?
No, we did Friday the 13th, and then I did Halloween. So, or did I make it to Halloween?
Yeah,
I don't remember the back half.
I caught you definitely made it too, because I stopped listening because I don't know, I was doing something.
But what's up? Before we get started with the goods, because people will just like leave.
The goods? No. We're not reviewing the goods.
We're going to do a live reaction.
Great movie. That's a great movie, though.
We're going to do a live reaction to the new Echo from. I have not been excited to announce anything Marvel.
Well hold on. Didn't you mean to say we're going to do a live reaction to the new Echo?
So, at the end, I want you to pay close attention to what the rating is of this show. Marvel's going dark.
I've never seen any of this before.
Okay, here we go. Live reaction.
Apparently Marvel's better at it.
I see everything that you are.
Is that Jigsaw?
No, that's.
I always have.
Kingpin. This is how he's supposed to be played.
Must not be Jigsaw. He doesn't look like he plays games.
Don't be afraid.
So, unlike most people, I would hold on because if you pause in the middle, they're less likely to ding you, even though, Disney is.
Ding-a-ling!
But I want to stop right in the middle there. One, I like Vincent D'Onofrio. This reminds me a lot of. This reminds me of the Netflix show, and from what I heard, both Daredevil now and this have writers from the Netflix show, and I could tell by that tone. They have. When's the last time they showed blood like that? Like, he clearly beat the shit out of that man. But there's more.
Ouch.
Like, they're killing people in this. This is not even like we cut away.
You have so much
killed a bunch of people in Secret Invasion.
They killed my fucking.
So much rage.
I don't want to talk about it.
They killed my sense of love.
Contain it.
I'm gonna focus on this.
Like, they didn't kill him like that, BB. Hold on, let's go back. They didn't kill people like that.
Oh, not exactly. I was. You didn't go back far enough.
Oh wait, hold on.
No, you still didn't go back far enough. What are you doing? There you go.
Man,
Ow!
look at that.
Oh,
Hold on a second.
oh my god.
Look at this shot. Like, there's no, you know how they do those cutaways where you're like, oh,
Yeah, there's no cutaway there.
There was no cutaway.
He's
That man was
standing there
hot
alive. He gets shot in the head and he falls dead all in one shot. Like, oh.
I think this might be actually, and we're going. I have a feeling we're going to review this one. I think this might be the best, just off the fucking trailer. I think this might
Yeah, well,
be
we
the
gotta
best.
review the Marvels before we review this.
You know I'm going to see that. I like the fact too that they're actually giving representation to a group I feel should have representation, which is the
monster truck community.
And the monster truck community. But
there's not enough monster trucks in movies. Like, I was just watching Ace Ventura: When Nature Calls.
I know, last one to get representation. Good for Disney. There's Daredevil.
That was him jumping out of a... What the hell was that?
Yeah, he was jumping through a desk or something. You know, doing Daredevil. Look at that! Did you hear that? They are not even like... I thought Disney was going to do this thing going into R-rated where they were going to kind of pussyfoot around it and maybe do a little blood here, a little... No! In this one trailer, and it's only like a minute and some change, someone got their neck broken, someone got shot in the throat, and I'm pretty sure the dude who got his head pounded against the fucking ground by that chick is not alive. Like, she pounded his head several times on the ground. I mean, he might be alive, but he's definitely brain damaged.
So, who's the monster?
Oh my god, look, Vincent D'Onofrio is...
I would guess they're both monsters.
And look, so it says...
TVMA.
TVMA. So they're going for it, and they're releasing all episodes that night, which means we can stream it. So,
that's terrible. I hate when they release all the episodes
at once. I love it.
The worst. It is the worst.
Especially
because they're just going to be bitching at me. Like, are you done yet? Are you done yet? I had a day off work. I watched every single fucking episode. Are you done yet?
No. I disagree with Disney. They need to release every episode. It was
amazing when they released Hawkeye that they set it up at the last one released, I want to say, on Christmas Eve. It was perfect.
Okay, but that was different. The rest of their shows have been shit. And
they've not been shit, just not been as good as we hoped.
No, they've been shit. Pure shit. The Marvels fell apart at the end.
Okay,
the Moon Knight fell apart at the end. She-Hulk hit all the way through. Which,
you didn't like Ms. Marvel. She-Hulk's amazing. She-Hulk
is fucking garbage. I swear to God, I will reach and strangle you through this.
It's a sitcom. It is a sitcom.
No, it's not. It is a piece of shit, woke trash, pretending to be sitcom. And yes, I use that phrase. I don't give a fuck. It is. It is a very
interesting. So you're telling me that She-Hulk is woke, but Gen V isn't woke.
There is a difference, and we'll get to that when we get into it. Okay. See what I did there? You see the
subtleties.
Yeah, the little subtleties there, and we're gonna get into our thoughts about that because here's the thing.
I just want to say one more thing. Like,
okay, go ahead.
I haven't been this excited for a Marvel show since Hawkeye.
I mean, the last one we were excited for, and I feel like you and me were on an island. Like, I still don't agree to this day with people that Hawkeye was a bad show. I think people are bad viewers.
It's not a bad show. It's not
a bad show at all.
The greatest show that I've ever seen in my entire life. Like, that's not where we're putting it. But it's definitely a good show.
I'd say if you comparatively put it against all of the Disney Plus shows that have come out, and I still defend WandaVision too, I would say it'd be like, my top would be Hawkeye, WandaVision, and then the rest of the shit. WandaVision I love just because it was unique.
WandaVision gets good as soon as we're introduced to Monica Rambeau. That's when it gets good.
Yeah, no, Monica Rambeau, and I'll say this again, my problem with the Marvels is her. She's a plank of wood. Her character is fucking boring.
Well, you said that Captain Marvel was a plank of wood previously. Now you
she makes Captain... No, she makes Captain Marvel look like the most interesting person in that movie. Like, honestly, think about that show. She is so just blah. There's nothing to her character. We don't learn
Dude, how
anything.
long
She's
ago did
boring.
that show come out? I only ever watched it one time through.
I
One
watched
time
it
through.
like 2 or 3 times. I like
No,
it, and I think she's a bland character.
well, I
She just
like
says,
WandaVision, but I don't like WandaVision more than I like Hawkeye. I don't think I
I will
like
give
WandaVision more than I like frickin' Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Falcon and the Winter Soldier. You know my reasons for hating that.
I mean, that's one of those things. It's kind of like Kenobi, where you're like, "Oh, that was really cool," and then 5 seconds
They go,
later, "Oh, that was really."
dude, they had it. They could have did what they're doing with Echo with Falcon and Winter Soldier. They had the humor, the buddy cop thing. Where they fucked up is, one, they made it way fucking political, and two, they didn't go all the way with the Captain America knockoff. Just think about that setup, right? We had arguably the best episode of that show where he kills the dude in cold
No, he
blood.
was.
You see the blood on the shield, right? They could have actually went all the way and made that rated R. And my ending I envisioned was make him go crazy, and then instead of those stupid fucking terrorists, the actual villain of the whole show that they have to battle to the end, to, I say, almost killing him, and then you can give him a redemption arc, would be the fake Captain America guy. You have him be the main villain, but they pivoted for no fucking reason. And this is my problem with Marvel shows. They can set up good shit, and then I don't know what the fuck happens. They run out of money, they run out of time, the
Oh, it's
script
not
just falls
money.
apart. Yeah, I mean, that's debatable with She-Hulk. Like, you can't tell me they put all that money into that. I'm sorry, I call you a liar. That show looked
Dude,
fucking terrible.
episode 9 is one of the best episodes of TV I've ever watched in my life. Fucking cracking up the entire goddamn thing. Everyone hates episode 9, and it's phenomenal.
Listen, She-Hulk literally made me love Batwoman. I was like, as shitty as Batwoman is, at least it knows what it is. At least it knows what it is. It doesn't try to be anything else, and it leaned very hard into that. She-Hulk is a confused fucking mess. And I just take out the political shit for a second. And
Sure.
as humor, it's not funny. Sorry, I disagree. Your humor is limited if you think that bullshit is funny. They totally demoralize the Hulk. And
no,
on top of that,
no, they do not.
They did. They shit all over the Hulk.
Every single time that she tries to one-up him, he one-ups her. Every single fucking time. I don't know.
You're telling me a bitch who just got her powers can control them better than the man who's been living with it for how many years now? Bullshit. Bullshit. The whole fucking
she doesn't control. She doesn't control it better than him. She doesn't control it better than him.
She doesn't in and out at will. He cannot. His is driven purely by rage. And the fact that she masters it quickly, and I know what you're going to say, oh, the part where she loses control and she realized that was just some bullshit breadcrumbs.
Wait a second. So, hold on. I have an analogy.
The director even said she didn't care about the lore, that she doesn't give a shit about the fans. So you're telling me that this show cares about what you think. You would defend the show where the lady who created it is basically calling you a piece of shit and she doesn't care about your opinion.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'll defend it. I will defend it this way. So I know that there's a show out there that you love very dearly, and it's called Dragon Ball Z. And what happens in Dragon Ball Z? Well, they go through a couple arcs. They go through the Raditz, they go through the Saiyans, but then, we get to Frieza, right? We get to the big fucking showdown, right? And we gotta be stronger than we ever been before. And how fucking much bullshit does Goku have to go through in order to go Super Saiyan? Because, oh my god, if it wasn't fucking rage-driven, I don't know what was. Now, how much bullshit did Vegeta, being the second one to do it, have to go through? Because as far as I could tell, he just did a little extra change, like, boom, I can go Super Saiyan now, there we go. Giddy up, cowboys. So the second person should be able to control it faster than the first one, but the Hulk knows a bunch of tricks that you don't know either. So it's not like she's completely in control of it. And then I want to say it's episode 4 or 5 where she gets fucking drunk or drugged or something like that, and she doesn't know that she hulked out.
All I've got to say is that's a shitty defense. I will never care what you have to say about the show because she's
you love Dragon Ball Z.
I like Dragon Ball Z.
So it works in Dragon Ball Z, but it don't work in She-Hulk, right?
No, it doesn't, because the writers actually write good stories. The whole show is shitty. You can't defend it. The ratings prove it. It's not getting a season 2. What do you mean the whole show?
Nothing's getting a season 2. Nothing's getting a season 2.
Yes, there are shows on there. Loki got a season 2. Fucking What If got a season 2.
No, I was okay. So.
So you're telling me it's not? No, it's a shitty show. They canceled it as soon as it happened. Right away, as soon as the ratings dropped. As
far as I understand it, there are contract issues with Disney and all of their writers for all of their shows. And at the moment, nothing's being made the way that I understand it.
No,
unless I misunderstand that.
No, the writer strike is over.
No, not the writer strike. This is specifically a Disney thing.
No, the contract thing has been resolved. That was
then why the fuck was Star Wars Theory talking about it last night?
I mean, really, we're taking Star Wars Theory?
Why would I not take him? It's not like he was... It's not like
I don't take any of those people.
He's going by the information that he can find. Oh my god!
And besides, that's Star Wars. That's
we're not talking about it. We're not talking about opinion.
That's Star Wars. About him reporting. 2 different franchises, 2 different owners.
Oh my god! It's a Disney thing. No, they're both owned by Disney.
That's like me saying every show is shitty because it's a Disney show. If we're going by, no, they're not. They're all different, made by all different people, just like Marvel and Star Wars and all the other brands. Yes, they're under the same umbrella, but the contracts and the way that they're handled and the way that they're signed are completely different. And historically, Marvel does contract people longer than Star Wars does. They did it for fucking Vincent D'Onofrio. They did it for the dude who plays Daredevil, Brian Cox. I forgot his name, but he not only appears in the movies, but now
Mr. Cox.
Okay, you know what? I want to get off this because I just want to prove.
Speaking of Cox,
let's talk about Gen V. Yes, but we're not on that episode yet. We're going in order, motherfucker. But we'll get to that. That might be my favorite episode. So let's go to.
Bring my app up so I can follow along with myself.
So let's go up with the first episode, which is entitled "God You," and this is the beginning. And I gotta say, right off the bat, my rating, because it's that good. Before we dive into it, I'm giving this a 9 out of 10. I have one complaint.
I was gonna say I gave it I must have gave it an 8.
Yeah, I'm going with a 9, but you could give me your reasons for an 8, but. It got a 9 for me.
I don't remember.
Hey, what's up, Stone Cold Jeremy? It got a 9 for me.
What's up, Stone Cold?
One simple thing. So let's talk about the beginning of the episode. There's a little girl. She's going to the bathroom. We haven't been introduced. Well, older. There's 2 sisters. They're the older sisters. She's going to the bathroom. She has that time of the month. And then as she reaches down...
You're underselling it.
No.
It's her first ever time of the month.
Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah, you're right. It's her first ever time of the month. She's scared, right?
Yeah.
She reaches down. There's a little bit of blood, and she's... Yeah, and she starts like freaking out or whatever, right? As is normal, and she holds it up, and the mother comes in because she hears her screaming, and then zoop, the blood turns into like a fucking crystallized dagger, slashes her in the throat.
Oh yeah.
She falls on the ground.
Yep.
The dad comes in to see what the fuck is going on, and all of the blood, because I guess she's still panicking.
Hold on. The dad come in, and the mom ain't dead yet. She's still bleeding all over the floor.
Oh yeah,
she's close to dead, but she ain't quite dead yet.
Yeah,
Yep.
he grabbed.
And then he
grabbed
starts
her.
asking the daughter what she did. He kept going, "What'd you do? What'd you do?" And then he said it a bit too loud, and she screamed, and all of the blood all over the room just fucking shot all over the place. Instant death. Like, oh
Yeah,
my
yeah.
god.
It
It
didn't
hit
just.
him with so much force he jumped off the wall.
It wasn't even just shot all over the place. They were like spikes that just came.
Yeah.
Okay, so I gotta say, first off,
Why am I
let's just
thinking of
break
an
this.
X-Men that can shoot freaking spikes? Who's the guy that shoots the spikes?
Oh, I forget. I know it's with rocks though, right? He
Okay.
controls. Yeah, he controls rocks. But okay, so my first thought is, and at
What an
first,
opening. What an opening.
what an opening. At first, I was a little bit leery because we've seen this before, right? When they try to make female characters super powerful or whatever. Then I thought about the whole premise. And I'm going to get into the reason why I really like this, which goes to the overall series. I like that all of their powers have some kind of a drawback. It's like that theory that you can't ever create a character too powerful, like the good shows, the good writings and stuff. There's always some kind of like limitation. Superman, anybody. You always got to give them, even if it's fucking stupid, you got to give them something that limits their powers. And hers so far is that she has to cut herself. And we'll get into the ending because we find out the extent of her powers. But I gotta say, the way they present it and how her abilities work is probably one of the coolest set that I've seen on The Boys to date. Like, first of all, finding out your power that way was the worst backstory I ever heard. And I don't mean worst as in
Yeah,
bad, I mean in
that
the
was
best way.
that was sad.
That was sad. It was tragic. It was terrible. And this is good writing because automatically you can't hate this character. That sets you up
I mean,
automatically to
I
love
could
this
try, but
character and
it's not
fuck
going to
him.
work. It's not
No,
going to work.
no, you feel bad for them because not only are they going through a change in their life, right? A change in their body or whatever, but also uh, finding out they're a superhero, right? Because the powers are linked to puberty or whatever. So not only did their powers mature, but they matured and they got double fucked, and then they killed their parents, left their sister an orphan, and they became an orphan. And we kick off with them going to this school
Hold
called
on. I'll just
Bianca
one
High, or
one moment. One moment.
oh, I'm sorry,
Just because you got superpowers doesn't mean you're a superhero.
no, and we'll get to that too. I don't want to jump ahead, but I also like the fact that in this show we have an actual, and we'll get to this when we get to episode 8. I'm just so excited because I rewatched it and realized how much I really fucking love this show. But I love how, okay, so we've seen The Boys, right? And in The Boys,
Every minute.
you've never had actual super villains. Like Homelander killed the only guy you can call a super villain in like season 2. It's always been the boys who are human against the supes. We've never seen two factions of superheroes where we can go, oh, there's super villains in this world and superheroes. But by the end of the episode, not only do you have supervillains, but you kind of sympathize with them a lot more than, like, say, Homelander or them, because there are reasons for doing what they do, that chick and everyone. Their reasons for
Oh yeah,
becoming
there's
villains
reasons.
make sense. And not only that, but what makes this more fucked up, in this world, the villains not only win, but they are made out to be heroes. Just like they do when they get older, like with Homelander and the Seven and everything. They basically,
Oh yeah.
it confirms that they are the villains. They're the villains of the story. And
The
that the
Seven?
whole time we've been following villains that are called superheroes, but they're not superheroes, they're all villains. These kids might actually be the superheroes that we've been hearing about, but since The Boys season 1, we've never seen superhero
So
except for
what is this?
Groot.
That's like what? Injustice League versus Teen Titans?
I'd say this is like an Injustice League kind of a series. It's like, by the way, what up, Stone Cold Jeremy? I don't know if we said hi to him, but
We did.
this is like this is like, to me, I gotta say, this is just brilliant writing. I don't know how you feel. I feel like these writers, and we'll get to the woke stuff, but I feel like they balance it better than most shows. But this is some brilliant writing as far as um blurring the lines between right and wrong. Everybody, even the villains, you kind of understand. This is just good writing, PB. You can even at by the end of the show, you can understand the people doing the shitty things that they're doing, and we'll get to what the
I
school's
mean,
about and
you
all that.
can say
But
that it's good writing all you want, and you would be correct every
I
time
can't believe we
with this
actually
show.
agree. So the first episode, we open up with her killing her parents. We kind of skip to Maria being accepted in Godric University. This first episode had so many great scenes. So, of course, we have the great Clancy Brown, and he
And
is
we have
at
the
the.
great Cement Shoes. What's up, Cement Shoes?
What's up, Cement Shoes? Good to see you here. Welcome, welcome. Uh, and we have Clancy Brown, who's the like principal or vice principal or whatever. And he is trying to prop up who we assume is going to be the hero of this, but as the boys or anything connected to the boys
Are
tends
you
to
talking
do.
about Brink?
Uh, no, we're talking about what's his face? George or Luke, the person who's compared to
Golden Boy?
Homelander. Golden Boy, yes.
Oh, okay.
So they kind of build him up in this episode. He finds out about this experiment. We don't know what it's about, but it's called the Woods. And apparently they're experimenting on these soup kids. And Golden Boy, his memories have been suppressed, but we don't know what's going on. So right now, as we go through it, we're gonna kind of reveal things slowly, just to give you guys
Slowly.
a warning. Spoilers ahead, but for right now,
Ooh,
we're not gonna
yeah,
spoil
we're
too
gonna
much.
spoil the shit out of it.
Oh yeah, as we get into it, we're gonna tell you the plots and everything. But so, anyways, Golden Boy is in the office at the end. He confronts Clancy Brown. Of course, uh, Clancy Brown is denying
Why the fuck
everything
you call him Clancy Brown?
because I forget his name, and to me, he's just Clancy Brown. I guess
Where's
Brink,
that
right?
from?
Richard Brink, huh?
Where's Clancy Brown from?
Dexter,
Okay.
SpongeBob, Shawshank Redemption, anything good that he's
Oh,
ever been in.
the actor's name is Clancy Brown?
The actor's name's Clancy Brown, but we'll
Oh,
say,
I had
okay,
no idea.
so Professor Brink, right?
It doesn't matter
Uh,
because he just, he gave Golden Boy a hug.
so Golden Boy gives him a hug, sets him on fire, goes through a rampage, and I'm gonna stop right here. So we do have our first political thing, but I think the way they tackle the politics in this, which is why I don't get personally offended, we have a character who is both genders. They are female and male. The
This is
thing I
an
like,
actual trans person.
yes, but I love the way they do it because when they, you really have to call them they are literally two different sexes, but when they transition between them, they have different set of powers. I think that's a cool way
Are
of
you sure?
doing that. Yeah, they do. The girl has the telekinesis stuff, the guy version has super strength and speed and stuff. So both of their powers are tied to whichever gender they take on. So when they become the female version, they have this like force push. That's what I call it, kind of like force push. They force
Fair
push,
enough.
and yeah, the big giant light, it force pushes them out of the way. When there are the male versions of themselves, they have super strength and speed, because there was a part where they zipped super fast. So they have strength and speed as the male, and they have like this force push light thing that still hasn't revealed how powerful it is. I think that might be in later seasons. And yes, I do think this is going to get later seasons. But
Well,
anyways,
the power of your Kamehameha wave depends on what Kaioken times you're doing. So
you know what? That's hilarious. You would say that. That it does. Now that feels like a Dragon Ball Z thing.
there you go.
And she really does the hand thing too. Like, she'll do that and they go
Oh,
flying. So
ah,
definitely we could see some. Hey, you're not fooling us, Mr. Eric Kripke. You love Dragon Ball Z. Any good writer has watched Dragon Ball Z. Anyways,
oh, absolutely.
so they have a big fight with Golden Boy, and then towards the end of it, Luke winds up fighting with Maria. Of course, she is no match. Her blood powers aren't as advanced, and we'll get to that later. But she tries her
He
whole
beats
blood
the hell
thing.
out of Jordan Lee first, doesn't he?
Oh yeah, he does beat Jordan Lee pretty bad. They and
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna say they. I can't believe I'm using this stupid fucking pronoun thing, but it literally does apply. They are literally two different sexes, two different thoughts, two different everything. Which, okay, that makes sense to me in the context of the boys, and this is the difference that I was talking about between like a She-Hulk or something like that. I don't mind if you
Ooh, I love
tackling
She-Hulk.
fuck you. I don't mind if you tackle social issues, but if you're going to do it intelligently. And you could tell these are very intelligent writers. They literally wrote something that fits within the world of the boys, within the story they're telling. They're not sacrificing anything just for a statement. It's literally what the character is, right? The character's powers are literally tied into it. I think that's a brilliant way to do it. And we'll get to there is a bit of a statement episode. I'll talk about that when their parents come. I'll get to my feelings on that. That's not particularly my favorite episode. There's a lot of talking and a lot of it does have some flaws in it. This isn't a perfect show, but anyways, the first episode
There's
though,
a
damn near
lot of
perfect.
character motivation revealed in that episode.
There is, and there is also some political stuff. Once again, being fair, that I'll bring up that I thought didn't really help the episode. But anyways, I'm jumping ahead.
Seemed more familial than political, but I get what you mean.
But you get what I mean. Even within that writing, and this is why I've always respected the boys. I think a strong writer, look, I get it. People don't. Yeah, the Kamehameha. Yeah, or the Hadouken. Yeah, that wave is awesome. This is the difference between like the boys or this new show now, Gen V. The difference is, and I've said this 1,000 times, there is nothing wrong with a political statement. Look, the greatest movies of all time. Can we agree? The greatest movies, the greatest shows of all time. They've all had political messages. Everything we like has had a political statement
What?
at some point or another. From Star Wars to all of that. Even George himself has said he's got political messages in Star Wars. It's not the message that's the problem. It's how you deliver the message, right? It's how you structure the story and how you come across. If you're being a pompous asshole and you are sacrificing the whole entire story just to make a point and hammer it in our heads where it's like we're not retarded, we get what you're saying.
Well, I
Right?
can always come back to my golden example of standout wokeness.
Exactly. It's yeah, Back to the Future. Back to the Future had political messaging, 100%.
Of course, it has political messaging.
Every single thing you've watched had some kind of message. Hell, one of my favorite movies of all time, Full Metal Jacket, is a purely anti-Vietnam War movie. There's a lot of movies I can name that uh, have some kind of political message. But see, if a movie's made so well, either you don't catch the message because it's not obvious, or if you are looking, or the director just comes out and says it, there is a message in it, but they wrap it in good storytelling and entertaining you because the message isn't the
Storytelling
important
should
part.
always come first. Exactly.
Exactly, the storytelling. And the thing that separates the boys and Gen V from these other shows by Marvel or other things is that they understand getting you interested in the characters, getting you interested in the story is more important than the message that they're trying to say. Now, don't get me wrong, and we'll point it out. There is messages in here, But that's not the point of the show. That's not the focus of the show. The focus of the show is teenage superheroes trying to come to terms with stepping into the world with the big boys, right? They want to become part of the Seven. They're still naive. This is the journey that the show is about. It's not about gender pronouns and things like that, nor do they try to focus on that. It comes up. There's certain episodes that highlight it, but that's not the main message they're trying to do. They're trying to have an overarching story that connects with the boys, which we'll get to the cool cameos because I want to see what you think. You know what my favorite cameo is? Baby's Day Out. Okay, well, goddamn, so cool too. Hold on, he's really reaching here. I'm sure Baby's Day Out might have a political message, like don't fucking leave your kids unattended. Jesus Christ, that baby should not have had a day out. That's the message in the movie. Watch your fucking kids. Dude,
I never
that
seen
baby
it
had
before, but it sounds like he had a good time.
yeah, that baby had quite a day out. And yes, Full Metal Jacket is awesome. So the end of this episode, Marie doesn't stop Jordan. Jordan kills himself, but Marie gets
No. You said Jordan. Jordan doesn't kill himself.
I mean Luke kills himself.
Golden Boy.
Yeah, Golden Boy kills himself, but Jordan, Andre, and Marie get the credit for that because they can't have it. The Vought machine spins, which is another message about which is started in the boys, right? The media and stuff like that, and them spinning everything. Vought spin stuff. And I really like the fact that also too, and this is a great thing they bring up. And this is the commentary. This is why I like their commentary because they're not one-sided, right? They do show both sides of the argument because the first thing they start evaluating on them is how cool their powers are, their race, their gender. Yep. Right? Remember sitting down, well, she's a black chick, but her blood powers are disgusting. Like, I love that shit because...
Now, to be fair, they also do the dig where they're like, well, how do you think that being trans is going to play in middle America? It's like, well, fuck you.
Yes, and I gotta say that all these things is like, you see what I'm saying, PB? Like, in all seriousness, like, I know you like She-Hulk or whatever, we shit on it or joke around with each other, but you see the difference between...
Never shit on She-Hulk.
You see the difference between, like, how Marvel would approach it versus... That's clever writing, because they're not just saying one side of the argument.
Well, Marvel would approach stuff better if they had Eric working for them.
Oh, yeah, Eric Kripke, I remember him from Supernatural, one of my favorite shows still to this day. That show went downhill after he left as a writer. He wrote an ending, but they just kept on fucking going. That isn't the point. Like, season 5, just watch it to there, and that's the end of the show in my mind for me. Anyways, that isn't the point. The point is, like I said, he understands you can write and put views and stuff in it, but you can't let them overtake the story. And he never writes one side, because then if you're writing one side, it's still taken away from your story. You have to show all angles. With a show like this, it's almost like he's letting people decide where they land. Isn't that crazy? A show that lets you decide how you feel about a topic rather than just telling you how you should feel.
After I watched it for a little bit, I was like, oh my god, I thought that we were watching a supervillain origin story with Marie. And maybe I'm right, but maybe it's somebody else.
Oh yeah, we'll get to that. So let's get to episode 2. So, no, first episode 1, what's your rating?
And I saw it was an 8.
Okay, so why did you land on an 8 where I landed on a 9?
Know.
Really?
You want me to explain a 1-point difference?
I mean, that's a pretty huge difference. That's one whole point.
That's one whole point. That means it gets an 8.5 if you average us together. 8.5 is pretty good.
Okay, I can live with that.
So I mean, I don't remember specifically. I was just going off of my app, and my app only goes 1 through 5. So 5 stars is 9 or 10. 4 stars is 7 or 8. And I had 4 stars on this, so I had an 8.
Okay, so let's talk about first day. Vought International covers up the Luke and Brink's death, while Maria is given sole credit for stopping Luke for the first time. She gets popularity.
Because she's not
Emma,
trans.
Emma is the shrinking lady
Awesome.
now. I love her. She's one of my
Dude, she
favorite
wrestled a
characters.
fucking hamster.
She wrestles a hamster in this episode, and I want to talk about something that I think this show tackles well. So in this show, and I should issue some warnings here for sensitive snowflakes, even though that they're not on my channel, but just if you've personally dealt with these issues, I think this show tackles, and it says in the beginning of the fucking episodes too, but
Multiple episodes.
yeah, multiple episodes.
Violence. Oh my god, like it makes it specific.
No, eating
call someone.
Eating disorders too. So Emma, who's
Yep.
I think we can agree both probably our favorite character. She can
sure.
shrink, but the way she shrinks is she has to vomit in order to shrink. So I'm guessing this is supposed to be a take on bulimics, and someone could correct me if I've got the wrong eating disorder. I believe it's bulimia. It's either bulimia or
No, you're right.
So her power to shrink is triggered by her vomiting, and this does two things. One, it is the negative part that every power has, but two, it also tackles an issue which is pretty serious, and the show doesn't make light of this. I think it handles it appropriately, because when you start to get into stuff like this, like actual real food disorders or stuff like that, so she is kind of she's hand tied by the fact that in order to use her power, she has to vomit, and there's a part. Well, hold on. Let me finish my thought and I'll get to the question.
Yeah,
But
that's
there's
fine.
a part that really got to me was when she was talking about how it felt to throw up. I don't know why. And this is what I say with the writing being really strong. It's so hard, or maybe it's because of hearing this or the way they present it, but it's like the thing that makes her special hurts her the most. And she talks about how every time she vomits, and you know that's bad for you too. If you guys look up this stuff, like vomit is very acidic, so you're fucking up
No,
things in your
vomiting
throat.
is meant to get rid of some stuff that's inside of you that's not supposed to be there.
But it
And
can
after
also
you've
be
already
harmful.
vomited up like the bad, no, listen. After you've already vomited up the bad food or drink that you had to get rid of it, and you go to vomit again, that's when you have serious issues with what you're vomiting up, because it's like almost straight stomach acid.
Yeah, it's stomach acid and bile and stuff. So I think uh, it also does a good job with tackling this issue. Now, what was your question you were going to ask me?
Did she know she had her powers because she had the bulimia? Or did she develop bulimia because she discovered that's how her powers work? Because
And
I have
that
a feeling
is
that
what I
she
was
didn't.
wondering.
Yeah. I feel
Because
like we need like an episode next season to show that.
because and Eric Kripke is a pretty good writer. I choose to take it as that she was doing it because when it came out, she was ashamed, and it felt like to me like kind of a thing of someone being ashamed of doing that. So I want to guess, and given we'll talk about the mother later because I think she's in the third or fourth episode, but given the
Something like
way
that.
her mother is and how she puts a standard of on her like how she presents herself and everything, I think she started out with this issue, and then she realized one day while doing it she can shrink. But also, there's a part 2 to this issue that's really shitty. Every time she shrinks, she gets smaller, which means there's a very real possibility she could, like, unlike Ant-Man, she could shrink herself out of existence. As far as I understood it, I don't know how you took it, but she says every time
No, the
she
problem
shrinks, she
is,
gets smaller.
right, she will continuously get smaller every time that she throws up. And she could probably keep throwing up for, like, quite a while. Like, even if you give yourself a little bit of time to recover and then go through another bout of doing it again, you'll be able to continue shrinking because everything inside you kept shrinking. But you're going to reach a point of maximum entropy where you're not going to be able to eat anything because everything will be too big.
Yeah. So then she's gonna shrink to a
At least
point where she.
that's how I understood it. It's not like you could, you're smaller. You're like the size of an ant's foot. His foot, an ant's foot. An ant's foot doesn't exist. It's just a fucking leg that sticks on the ground. But that's the size that you are. Like smaller than the head of a fucking pen. The little ball. You're smaller than that. I don't think you can just go up to a grape and like punch your way through the skin and start eating the grape or a peach. Like that's a thing that James can do, but not Cricket.
So also in this episode, Emma confronts Justine, who outed her thing about her ability
That
and
happened
how
in
it works.
episode 1.
That was, she liked this girl Justine. It was a kind of a B plot I didn't really like, but basically she outed her and insinuated she had an issue and kind of made it public.
No, I remember, but I thought that happened in episode 2.
No, that's in this episode too.
Well, damn, there's a
Also,
lot of shit that happened in episode 1.
no, this is episode 2 we're talking about.
Oh, okay, you did move on to episode 2.
Yeah, we've been on episode 2 for a while. Jesus Christ, have I been drinking or you? For once, I actually am stone cold sober and I've been drinking
I
longer.
guess. We'll see.
God, you're getting drunk and I'm actually okay. Anyway, so meanwhile, Andre and Kate, and if you guys don't know, Kate is another soup that I like. We'll get to her.
Kate's a whore.
Her ability is she touches someone and she can get them to do anything. She can wipe their memory, and there's other things. We'll get to those later on. Lemon Pie says, by the way, hello, Lemon Pie. Vomiting, wrestling hamsters sounds like a Tuesday for me. Someone who's seen the show. So yeah, and hold on, before I go to the other plot with Kate and Luke, I want to say,
Kate and Andre?
well, Kate, Luke, and Andre, they're all intertwined.
What do you mean Kate and Luke?
Because this is revealed
Okay.
where I'll get to it. But anyways, can we get to the fact that hamster wrestling was one of the best fucking things I've seen?
Dude, I love it. It makes the hamster look like a fucking kaiju.
Dude, that was so awesome. That was amazing. And there's so many amazing moments in the show. That's why this is the first time I'm super happy to watch this show. What's the last time we were super happy to review a show? I can't even. Probably Mandalorian season 2? Because season 3 was a hit or miss for both of us. I'd say, what was the last review where we were actually both in agreement?
We were pretty excited about Andor, but I don't think that it's as good as this show.
No, not by a mile. And don't get me wrong, that doesn't mean Andor is bad. It's just these are two very different shows.
The show is phenomenal.
Two very different shows. And two very different enjoyment factors. I think they do the Force in this one better than they do in Star Wars, but whatever. Am I wrong? That is a Force push. You cannot convince me different. I'll take a Kamehameha too, or
there's a lot of different Force powers. Like Andre's got Force powers. I don't know exactly his work.
We still don't know how his work, but we know he's like a fucking Magneto in this world. That's what I was thinking of.
Are you sure?
Yeah, because he did. From what
He can only do metal.
he can only do metal. Yeah, he look at
Okay, so he
everything.
is just like his dad.
Yeah, it's like the statue he broke, the shears at episode 8. We'll get to that. Everything he moves seems to be metal, but he did use the baton. That could have been metal, though. I don't know. That's an iffy one.
So
That stun baton at the end.
so like he could kill somebody the Magneto way, just rip the iron out of their blood.
I don't think he's that powerful, but I choose to believe he could be because he does some shit at the end. We'll get to the last. Oh my god, I got so much to say about the last episode. I think I damn near like pissed my pants in excitement, but we'll get to that.
Yikes.
Andre breaks off and does his own investigation with Kate into Luke's death because Kate is broken up. And I'm going to get back to this because I did see a plot hole. I'll confer with you later, but I think you know what I mean because of what's revealed later. It seems like kind of a plot hole unless she did it to kind of string him along, but that still doesn't make sense. You know what I'm talking about, right? Like later on when we reveal.
I don't think Kate is entirely evil.
There, her elevator isn't going to the top floor. You're saying?
No, I'm just saying that she's not motivated by doing bad things.
Yeah, we'll get to it, but I was confused about a certain thing. Maybe you can illuminate for me. But thankfully, this is only 8 episodes, so we don't got far to go. We're almost on 3, actually. We're doing pretty good for a review. Anyways, so there's a secret recording that reveals that the younger brother is being hidden in the facility. Sam, I love Sam. We'll get to him later. Which is secretly run by Shetty, the dean. And Andre breaks off to find out information. After fuck, I did the thing where I skip ahead because I just didn't use the fucking arrows. I know, shut up, PB. Anyways, so after Marie learns about everything going on, and that Vought contracted Annabeth, who does not want anything to do with her. She withholds Jordan's involvement in Luke's suicide amidst a televised interview. Andre succeeds in locating the woods, but is nearly caught by campus security.
Hold on. What are you reading?
This is just a general synopsis. So,
Okay.
there's a televised interview. She has a choice, which we see her kind of going down the route of most superheroes. She chooses not to say anything, but Andre, meanwhile, finds the woods. They get trapped in a stairway, and that's where you see Kate's power, which she's quite powerful.
Oh,
We'll jump into that. But she forces the 2 guards basically to retreat, or they drop their guns and leave. So you could see that she could not only control one person, she can control 2. She's quite fucking powerful. We'll get to that when we get to my favorite episode.
Well, because her pushes, they call them pushes, they're permanent.
Yeah.
It's not like she gets so far away from you that you stop doing what you're doing. Like, you're going to keep doing what you're doing.
This reminds me of Jessica Jones with the Purple Man or Kilgrave, my favorite villain. His villain. I know it's stupid, but he appears purple. That's not the point. But his name is Kilgrave.
Did Perp watch this? Did you send him the link?
I probably should. But anyways, Kilgrave has the ability to influence people, and his influence is he tells you to do something, you have to do it. You will not be uncompelled until you do it. So if he says you have to jump off of a building, the people don't snap out of it till they jump off the building. There's like an episode of Jessica Jones where she has to.
Oh, that's amazing!
Oh yeah, I love that show. She has to jump with the top.
You're falling to your death, and you're like, "Oh, what am I?" Oh, and that's the end of it.
And that's the end of it, yeah. But she saves the cop because she just makes him jump, but they go into a dumpster. So like I like this deal. Like she can give you back memories and kind of take it away. We'll talk about that later. But once she removes something, until she puts it back, you don't remember shit. And they call it pushing. She pushes out memories, thoughts, whatever, and makes you do what she wants to. So
Well,
they find.
the memory wiping is, I don't know. It's strange to me because it's not like a command like you tell somebody to drop the gun and walk away. Okay, they're going to drop the gun and they're going to walk X amount of distance and eventually they'll stop and then they'll snap out of it. And they're going to know what they did. At least I think that they know what they did or are
Yeah,
doing.
we'll talk about this later, but her power, literally, there's an
But she
episode we get.
literally tells people, forget this, forget that, and then you forget it.
Yeah, there is the episode, and we'll talk about it later, where literally our heroes lose like 3 days of their memory, and they don't remember shit past what they had already interacted with before she wiped them. So they have everything else. It's just they lost 3 whole days, and there's a whole episode when they try to remember what they did within the 3 days. But what did you think of episode 2? I rate this about 7. It's good. There's some action, but I think this is more of an episode kind of building people's characters. We're getting to learn them. It's called First Day, so we're learning a little bit about uh, that awesome character Emma and her powers. She has that whole scandal. How is she dealing with it? We learn a little bit about Andre and Kate trying to unmask this conspiracy. But for me, I hate to use this word, but it kind of feels like just filler. Like you know what I mean? It's not bad filler. You need
I give it
filler.
a
Like,
4. I give it a 4 out of 5. My favorite character was Bloody Marie.
oh yeah, that's where she's trying to think of a superhero name in it, and someone suggests Bloody Marie. Yeah, that's
Andre.
yeah, Andre. That's when they first have their interaction. Yeah. To me, this was kind of one of those episodes where we had so much happen in the first episode, they kind of slow down. You catch your breath. You're just kind of catching up. Hey, lovely Sherry, thank you for coming by.
Hello,
That's the
Sherry.
message.
Did you
Um,
see Gen V?
and
I
let's
feel
talk.
like it's something that she would like.
Oh yeah, it's a great show. Great show. We're going over it right now. So the third episode is hashtag ThinkBrink. So as Vought does, they are spinning the tragedy, and they have this whole fucking memorial service and everything else like that. You know from the boys, if you watch the boys, what Vought does and this school and what they're doing. They're trying to
It's
prop
like
up
a
these.
fundraiser.
Yeah, it's a fundraiser. They're propping up the new superheroes. We learn that there is a ranking system, and Marie
Oh,
is number
Sherry.
one.
The first 2 episodes didn't get you to want to watch the rest of the episodes?
Yeah, like this is a great show, and we're gonna go through it. But uh, basically, basically, in this episode, they
She
are
disagrees.
they're talking about the this fundraiser. This is also when we find out a little bit more about
Everyone's
the
backstory.
yeah, the backstories of everyone. So we find out Emma, Andre, Kate. Who's the dual one? I always forget their name.
Jordan Lee.
Jordan Lee. Yeah, Jordan Lee. You find out about their parents. And this episode really
I
fleshes
would
everyone
give it
out.
a second chance.
There's 3 years prior, they show Luke and Kate visit Sam, who is enraged. Um, so we find out Sam's being held. We don't know what he did, but apparently he hurt somebody. Luke and Kate goes to visit him in this secured facility, and he killed a guard before, so he's kind of locked up.
Just one?
Oh, he killed. Yeah, he's killed many guards, but
Many guards.
Yeah, he's killed many guards. Now, Luke can't remember. We don't know this yet, but Luke can't remember what's going on. But even when memories are erased by whatever's going on, there's still a feeling. So this is where you kind of see where he has a feeling, and his brother's trying to tell him crazy shit is going on. You don't know. Of course, Luke doesn't believe him, but he does have a feeling like something's not right. That's pretty much that. And then in the present day, Andre and Kate are discussing the discovery that they made with the guards and everything else in the forest, during which she
Wait,
convinces
it's
him
called
not
the
to.
forest, not the woods. I thought it was called the woods.
Or the woods. I'm sorry. Woods, forest, there's trees and shit. You guys get the
Well,
idea.
I don't
It's a
know.
bunker in the middle of nowhere. So, which
Like,
she convinced him.
if they made a prison outside of Gotham and Metropolis, and they called it like Metal Mount Prison, that would not be the same as Iron Heights.
Fair enough. So Andre and Kate bond a lot, and then Andre and Kate have sex.
Oh, yeah, they do.
We're going to get to.
Didn't see that coming.
We're going. Well, we did see it coming. Anyways, that is the point. There's more fucked up shit with this storyline, and this actually shocked me when we get to episode 7. But I'm not going to go into it. We'll dive into that in episode 7. But first, let's just start off with this. Not knowing everything we know that happens, okay? Just off of this one episode. I thought Andre and Kate are a pretty good couple. I'll be quite honest with you.
Well, I knew right away. I was like, well, this didn't just happen. This been like, she been sleeping with both of these guys at the same time for sure. Like, I was
I mean,
100% right on that one.
okay. I mean, I had a clue, but I gotta be honest with you. I kind of really like Andre. I don't know why. He's just got that
Well, I
quality of
mean,
being a likable bastard.
no,
Yeah,
I
and
would agree with you though. Like how it played out, I was like, oh, this will be good. Then the
yeah,
other two will be a couple, and then the other two will be a couple, and then it's not like friends, which is good.
yeah, and the thing that shocked me was when we get the reveal, and I'll get to episode 7. But I was
I
kind
mean,
of
hold on
hoping
a
your
second. Now
theory was
I
right.
got a question. If you're in a relationship with Jordan Lee, are you immediately in a throuple?
I'm gonna guess that yes, but I don't know. She did it with the male version. We'll get to that. That's a
Well,
very
I assume
complex.
she did it with the male version.
Yeah,
It's not like it's not like she can turn into a man.
but she also was making out with the woman version too.
Well,
So
yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's hitting. She's bi. I have no clue. We'll get to
Then
that.
Lee is
There's a
by.
lot to unpack because she does. There is a scene where she is doing stuff with her female counter, or the female part of her first, and then it switches back. We'll get to that. That's a lot to unpack. Anyways, getting back to this episode. So Andre and Emma have sex. They're both pretty guilty about this because obviously
Whoa.
Andre and
Andre,
Kate. I'm
Andre
sorry.
Kate. Yeah, I was like, is
Uh,
that? Then you made me think. I was like, is that the episode where Emma also had sex? And I was like, I think it's the next one.
Meanwhile, Maria returns to her dorm and dorm room and finds fatigued Emma. So Emma, also with her
Well,
shrinking, it takes
I
a
was gonna
toll.
say, wasn't that the one where she got super shrunk?
Yes, she gets super shrunk. This is after we do have to talk about this part. So she gets internet famous, and this guy sleeps with her, but he wants her. Okay, I gotta ask, and this is gonna be crude for
Oh, she
everybody.
did. Yeah, she had sex when
Yeah,
she was tiny.
this guy wants her to shrink, and he wants her to shrink down, and Dude, this is why I love The Boys and shows like this. So we see a full dick shot, and the dude wants her, when she shrunk, to kick him in the balls. And my first immediate thought was, how is
Because you
any
have
of this
problems.
arousing? Like she climbs up and down. Just the okay. This show is fucking wild. Just the mechanics. This
Oh
is
yeah.
the most interesting sex scenes I've ever seen. She's literally like on
I
a
would love to
pole.
know how they filmed that. I would love to know how they filmed that.
I would love
Like,
to know how they did that.
is she just holding on to a giant tube that's a green screen?
So she shrinks down, and she's climbing this dude's dick, and then the dude's like,
So,
"Oh yeah, baby, can you kick me in the balls?" And I'm just sitting here watching, going, like, I'm so glad Amazon exists. You could not see this shit like 10 years ago. There'd be no way you could get this wild on a show. And I was scared when they converted The Boys. They weren't going to have the balls, because The Boys has some pretty crazy sex scenes in the comics. I mean, Herogasm was tamed compared to the comic version. Like, there is some wild shit that happens in that comic. Um, and you know what? I'm glad they changed it, because I don't think it really would have served the episode. That's for a boys review. But anyways, that isn't my point. My point is, like, the sex scenes they still make very weird, because it's super powered people. So, like, when the dude just looks, I broke out laughing, and Bitchy walked in right while I was watching this, and she was confused, because I watch stuff with sex scenes. So she'll be like, "Oh, what are you watching?" That kind of.
impression right there.
Yeah, she's like, "Did she just?" I go, "Yep, she just kicked him in the balls, and he just got off on that." I was like, "Dude, this and I don't feel like the show does it just to shock you either." I mean, there is a point to this whole scene. It's like she feels degraded afterwards, and like, uh she's only wanted because of her ability and what she can do. But it's just so crazy seeing her, like, climbing the Mount Everest of penises, I guess. Uh, so she she goes and has this encounter, and she's all fucked up. So of course Maria's doing the friend thing and helping her. Meanwhile, uh, Emma's mother attempts to talk her into doing a reality show afterwards, where she basically tells her mother and the reality producer go fuck themselves, because they want to encourage her, like, basically being bulimic and shrinking herself or whatever else. And so let me ask you, what do you think of the mother? What a cunt. I don't know who the actress is,
Dude,
but what a
there's a
fucking cunt.
reason. Like, she's the epitome of the type of parent that would give their child the V.
Yeah, so we established in The Boys, right? In that whole there was that season where everybody found out they were dosed with chemical V as kids. And her mom, you knew, and not only
Compound.
Compound V, but her mom not only knew, but has been kind of living vicariously through her daughter,
Dude,
which
big time. Big time.
like,
She
this
been
is
using
worse than
her. She's like,
Starlight's
you
mom.
better get. Oh, it's way worse than Starlight's mom. Way fucking worse. Because, yeah, obviously they
She's
all
worse than
know ahead of time,
Homelander.
but you don't know what's. Right, but you don't know what your superpower is going to be. Like, nobody knows what their superpower is going to be, so then the mom was like, well, how am I going to take advantage of this? Oh, I can get her to be in a fucking reality show where she's puking her guts out all over the place, because now everyone just knows about it.
And so I think this is this also has, like, a powerful message about, like, just people, especially parents and stuff, exploiting their kids, their weaknesses, trying to live vicariously through their kids. Which, let's be real, that's a real thing. I fucking lived it, so I know you can have shitty parents, and it's kind of it. One, it makes me love the character more, and two, everything feels very earned. Like when she turns around and basically she tells the reality producer and her own mother to go fuck themselves and
They
says,
deserve that.
yeah, and she says, well, why don't you go on the show? You expose your own stuff. And the mother was like, no, this isn't about me, blah blah blah. You could tell like right away. And she's like, oh, so it's okay for me to put my personal shit on television, but you don't want to do that. So this is all about me. So she really gets an insight, because before she was kind of trapped by her mom throughout most of the episodes we think there's a couple of episodes where she tries to talk to her and comfort her, but at that moment you see who her mom really is, and that she's always thinking about how to exploit her child.
Oh, 100%.
And it's heartbreaking, but it also makes what she says to her so fucking awesome when she tells her off, and it tells her about herself. And then she winds up going into the woods. This is where she meets Sam, and this is probably the a really awesome scene. I'm gonna say not the most awesome, because there's so many awesome scenes in the show, but she shrinks herself. She goes inside this guy's ear, and then
Hold on a second. You skipped the part that she got all stoned before she did any of this. Get it, got it, good.
yeah, she gets super stoned. She finds
Oh my
Sam,
god,
who's
I love
locked
her.
up. I
I'm
also
here to
love.
rescue you.
Yeah, I'm here to rescue you. And she
You're not
also,
real. You're not real.
yeah, poor Sam. We'll get to Sam's character because
Oof.
later episodes explain it better. But basically, Sam has been fucking experimented on and fucked with so badly he
It's
hallucinates.
way
So he thinks.
easier to explain stuff with puppets anyway.
Oh yeah, we'll get to the puppets. I fucking love that. But anyways, she smokes this weed, and can we talk about that one too? I thought that was fucking hilarious. The fucking roach is bigger than her. Like, dude, you could smoke forever when you're small. Like, so she has a typical
See,
like blunt.
I wonder if it works that way.
Dude, she has the typical blunt, but it's like bigger than her.
Right,
So they both get.
but you're putting way less smoke into your lungs because you're so tiny. So, like, are you getting less particles, or is the concentration going to be higher because you're smaller? Like, I don't know the math on that, but Hank Pym does.
So I'm gonna guess, because she was super fucked up. I'm gonna guess that it works like she gets a higher concentration. But so she
That's
gets
what
super
I
fuck.
think.
She gets super fucking stoned. She's talking to Sam. Alarms go off, and so Sam says she's got to hide or whatever. This guard comes
Yeah,
in.
because they're going to electrocute the fucking floor.
Yep, and the guard comes in, and everything seems copacetic, but when she went small, she dropped her necklace, and the guard notices the necklace. And so she realizes that her fucking cover is blown. I think he catches something in the corner of his eyes. He's got her scoped out. So she climbs up the guard, goes into his fucking ear, and then
Yep.
from there, I don't know what she did, because she doesn't go hard.
She punched her way through his brain and
And
came out
yeah,
the other side,
and she came out the ear, and
which
dude
was
was.
so fucking gross. I'm pretty sure I gave it a 9.
Yeah, that is fucking crazy. So what do we think of this episode? I gave this episode an 8 because it kind of slowed things down.
You're on episode 3 yet, right?
Yeah, this is episode 3. Uh,
Okay.
uh I felt like it kind of slowed things down.
I
Uh,
also gave it an 8.
I don't know. The whole Andre Kate thing, it was a cute couple thing, but like I said, this one, with as much stuff that happened.
Oh, I forgot this was the episode that Marie was looking smoking hot in that red dress.
Oh yeah, she did look good.
Oh, damn. Completely
So
forgot.
So yeah, it was pretty crazy. So spoil alert, we're getting to my 9 episode. I even probably put it 9.5. Let's talk about episode 4, which introduces one of my favorite characters from the comic, and the episode is called "The Whole Truth." And this is where we first meet Tech Man, uh, or Tech Knight. He is kind of like this universe's Batman, or that's what he's supposed to be modeled off of.
I guess.
So so Sam recovers, and she so Emma recovers. Sam fucking slaughters all of the guards. He escapes. They wind up hiding out in a drive-through, and this is where Emma realizes that he has delusions. He sees things that aren't there. I don't like. Hello, Aaron. How are you? He
Hello, Aaron Cooper.
We haven't gotten to the puppets, but it's clear that Sam
Oh, yeah.
is not right. He sees visions of his brother. Sometimes he has conversations with people he knows, but they aren't there. They tell him to do things. So clearly, Sam is very sympathetic. Like the stuff Sam does, I can excuse because he's been fucked with for how many years. Poor kid didn't have a chance. We're gonna get to the ending when you find out what they did to him, but it's pretty fucked up. So Sam is just as much of a victim of this stuff, but this is where Emma starts to figure out that his elevator ain't going all the way up, but you can kind of see sparks between them. Meanwhile, he wants to kill.
Meanwhile, Tech Knight touches holes or circles.
We'll get to Tech Knight. Emma returns to the university after all the shenanigans that happens. Maria is tries to ask a psych student, Rufus, to help find Emma because Emma's been gone for a while. Andre, Maria, and Kate are worried about what happened to Emma because Andre sent her to the facility. Meanwhile, Jordan is starting to develop feelings for Maria. And now we're coming to my favorite part and why this episode got a 9. So Maria goes on a quest to unlock her.
Fucking A, it's just Marie.
So Marie goes on this quest to unlock memories that she has been losing. So she goes to this student, Rufus. You know where I'm going with this. This is why this is my favorite episode. This is easily. You know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna give this episode a 10 just because I'm gonna explain what happens. So Rufus is a psychic like Kate, but not quite. Rufus creates more illusions than pushes memories. So he has this racket going where he will take these hot girls, mess with their mind, get them to give consent and all of this shit, and then videotape fucking them. And so he tries this shit with Marie. Unfortunately, and we'll get to why she's able to, but Marie snaps out of it before he can complete his grand plan.
I think she snapped out of it because Jordan was pounding on the door.
I think, yeah, because Jordan goes over when he finds out who she asked. Yeah, I think you're right. For whatever reason, she snaps out. I believe it was the pound on the door because she knows who Rufus
but that's
is, and
not
she
the
warned
good part.
him. So Rufus is butt ass naked and about to.
No, he's wearing a robe and it's wide open.
It's wide open. He's naked under the robe. You get the point.
Sure.
So, right when he's about to do the deed, Marie looks at him and something happens. You hear this noise and she fucking explodes his penis. And they don't turn away.
What
There's
do
no.
you mean by explode his penis?
She literally like pops his penis. Now they're gonna get into more of what her powers are, but it's something to do with the blood. She can make it boil or. Oh God.
I don't know if she can boil it. I think she can move the individual molecules of blood, which allows her to create the things like the dagger.
How she explained it in this episode was it was like a pot boiling. So I'm thinking too she can mess with the temperature. She could do a lot of things with blood. It's a fucking awesome power the
Oh
more we get
yeah, and
into
she
it.
blew the end of his dick off. Like
Yeah,
what
it was
the
like,
fuck?
dude, I thought it was a whole dick for a second, but yeah, it was just like,
No, I mean like most of it like blew off, but it like blew off to the end is what exploded. Because he was
oh, so
fucking
she,
holding. He was holding it, trying to keep the blood from going into it, and then
yep, and then
kablamo.
kablamo. So that happened. Meanwhile, Robert Verne, aka Tech Knight, comes to the school. So Tech
Oh,
Knight
Tech
has.
Knight.
So we'll get into his powers. So Tech Knight is like Batman on steroids. Basically, he has Bruce Wayne's power of deduction, but like in overdrive. He can see someone sweat or their facial movements and things like that, know if someone's lying, get the truth out of them.
You got
He
super
creates
smell.
he can smell like your sweat and things like that to know whether or not you're lying to him. They
Oh, you can
don't say
also
this in.
smell what you've been eating.
Yeah, he's got a heightened. Basically, he's got
That's a sexual innuendo.
Yeah, he has heightened senses. But also, which the show doesn't get into. This might be a minor spoiler, but whatever. We're spoiling the shit out of everything.
Oh yeah.
He's also like Batman. He invents stuff. So his whole thing is he's got heightened senses. He's got a shit ton of money, and he invents things. He's Batman. And he comes to Vought to kind of stir the pot, and it appears like he's coming to do an expose, but he's really coming to try to
He
steal
didn't go to
the
Vought. He went to Godolkin University.
or Godolkin. He is from Vought. He has a
Godolkin.
Vought plus.
Godolkin.
Yeah. But he's trying to steal the university position from I forgot her name, but the dean. He wants to
Oh
get
fuck.
her out and take over, and he uncovers some things about the woods and things like that, and he wants to use
Shetty.
that.
Dean Shetty.
Dean Shetty, there we go. He wants to take Shetty's position and usurp her and take the school for himself. Uh, so
Well,
after
Shetty
that,
found out about his affinity for circles.
Jordan, Andre, and Maria are confronted by him, but lose track of Andre. Andre is on his own kind of a thing. He's on a little subplot trying to find out everything that's going on. So he's off doing his own thing. He faints. There is a drawback to his power. I'll get to that later, but their power has to do with metal, and there's some shit in their bloodstream that we'll get to that when we get to episode 8 when you find out what happens to Andre's father. But Andre's father is a big soup. He was in the last one. His name is Polar or something. And so
Polarity.
yeah, he has the same ability, but they also have a drawback like everybody else. Emma realizes she and Marie already know Sam, but they were forced to forget him. Oh wait, hold on a second. I skipped ahead. Sorry about that. Okay. So meanwhile, he's trying to push Shetty out while observing uh the Tech Knight observes their powers and he interrogates them, and he starts finding out different things. He tries to blackmail Shetty, But Shetty, at the end of the episode, finds out something about him. So Tech Knight has a weakness. Or a fucking urge. I don't know what you would call it, but
It's a weakness.
Tech Knight has to have sex with anything that has a hole. Does not matter what it is. If it's a tree, a cone, a fucking bagel, if he sees a hole, he has to fuck it. Or he has the urges to fuck it. And so what?
All of them.
She caught him fucking a car tailpipe, fucking a tree, the like a bunch of other stuff. And so he goes for a position, but she pulls up all of these pictures of him fucking different things, so he loses the battle. I think he's gonna be in The Boys, but it was more of a guest appearance or an introduction. And then Maria, Emma, Andre, and Jordan eventually go over to subdue Sam because he's quite violent and he's trying to kill this doctor. And he's like super strength. So they all get their asses kicked quite a deal. But eventually, Kate is able to put him asleep with her power. And Maria blacks out and she wakes up with Jordan. They're both naked. They have no clue what they did or what happened. So now we're getting into where everything changes. This is where we have, I like to call it like the Freaky Friday episode. They wake up with no memory of the past 3 days. So, first off, what did you think of episode 4? Where do you rank it? That was my 9.5 just because of everything that happens.
I agree.
I love Tech Knight. I love.
I didn't know what was going on at first when I was watching it. I was like, why does he keep touching these fucking circles? It's so weird.
Yeah, he starts kind of fingering circles. There's so much disturbing shit in this episode. Someone loses pretty much half their penis. This dude is fucking like everything with a hole in it. This is the shit you expect from anything brought to you by the people who made The Boys. Like, there is so much crazy shit in this episode. I am honestly surprised how much they can get into, like, what this episode was like 50 minutes. I had it pulled up. It's like 50 minutes. It's a little under an hour. I feel like the difference between like Disney or other shows that make these kind of shows, right? I feel like they get way more in under an hour than an entire series can get with like an hour or 2 hours. You know what I mean? Hey there, PB.
What's up?
I was saying, I feel like a lot of these episodes get into like 40. The last episode's like 39 minutes.
Oh, well, I mean, if you're not counting the credits, it's even shorter. It's like 5 minutes of credits.
Yeah, so they get more stuff into these episodes.
They're packed pretty tight.
Oh yeah,
Info and action.
Info, action. So much shit happens in one episode of this show than in like the whole season of some shows that I watch. I could literally watch a whole season and skip the first 8 episodes, do the last 3, and find out everything I wanted to. You know what I mean?
I mean, I was really happy that the name of the episode was called "The Whole Truth" and it was Tech 9.
And also too, they got a clever one. So
good.
the next one is a game changer. It's episode 5. We're getting close to the end.
Oh yeah, wow! I gave it a wow too.
It's called Welcome to the Monster Club. I'll kind of speed run through this so you're not, you make it through all of them. Basically, they all wake up. We find out Marie and Jordan are a thing. So I'm gonna say I like this. Let's get a little like back in
Freaky?
our day when we watched Smallville and stuff. With the different hookups. I gotta say I like Marie and Jordan as a couple. I think they make a very good couple.
One Tree Hill got way better after Nathan got with Haley, so.
Oh, 100%. Dude, I was pulling for the Nathan
That's my
Helly
favorite
thing.
couple.
Oh yeah, best couple. I'm gonna go further. I'd say one of the best couples in television history.
I'm game for that.
Yeah,
I'm getting on board with that sentiment.
Yeah, they don't do they
They're
at least
amazing.
they pull back that will they won't they for a lot, but the thing I like about this is the show doesn't really fuck around a lot with those dynamics. We kind of knew Jordan and Marie were gonna end up together. They do build it across 5 episodes, so when they wake
Not
up in
in
the fifth,
episode 1.
yeah, and when they wake up together, uh, it's kind of a double-edged sword because this episode everybody wakes up, nobody remembers anything that
How
happened.
did I get here? No clue. No clue.
No clue.
I
They
don't
go
remember
to
a
a
fucking thing.
party. There's some. Okay. Oh god, I can't believe I'm eating while I'm talking about this. So there's some there's some goop on the wall. You don't know what it is. They go up. There's a fucking llama walking across with the invisible guy. I love that. I don't know what the invisible guy's relationship is with this llama, but a couple of episodes, it's like a running gag in this show.
Let's just say it's straightforward.
I have no clue if he's fucking this thing or if they're really
Let's
good
just
friends.
say he's not.
I'm gonna choose he's not because the latter is too scary for me. But the invisible guy, who's a TA, really likes this fucking llama. They do everything together, and he's got the beer goggle with the llama and a fucking leash behind it. He's like, "This is a great party," and they fucking walk off. Cool little sidebar. And then Kate and Andre are like checking everything out, and they go in, and the episode starts, and there's this girl getting fingered by this guy, and she has this hole in the back, and they both look at each other because it's like watching a train wreck. You kind of can't turn away, and so the stuff that was seeped into the wall, the girl has this hole in the back of her, and as this dude's fingering her,
like a
a
whale.
whale, yes, like a whale. And as this dude is fingering her, she gets super excited, we'll say, and stuff flies out. And when they realize what,
She creams out her blowhole.
yeah, and so that's how the fucking episode.
She's been doing it for hours, apparently.
Hours. So all of the stuff that is soaked into the floor when they first wake up was jizz.
Lady jizz.
Lady
blowhole jizz.
Oh god, I don't know how to.
It's amazing. This was amazing. You'd never think about that. And he's like, I know what I'm doing for this. It's gonna be fucked up.
Oh man, so we also find out too that Shetty is talking to Cardoza, who, if you guys don't know, he's this random scientist they've been showing, but they're creating a virus. And this virus is the key to killing supes. It's a virus that specifically...
Dude, the first thing you need to kill a soup is a heavy dose of salt. Like, if you ain't gonna put salt in your soup, it's not gonna be good. Oh, you mean superheroes?
Yes, superheroes. So
they're not superheroes. Some of them are supervillains.
So
Zod.
let me just stop right here and ask
you. Do that.
I think this is a brilliant strategy. Let's make some early predictions because this is a good prediction segment. How do you think this is going to factor into The Boys because of what happens in episode 8? We'll get to that, but just that little stinger at the end. Do you think this virus is going to actually transfer over into the flagship show, The Boys, because we know somebody ends up with
100%.
it.
100%.
Yeah, we know that one person, she has it at the end, but Billy makes a cameo here too. So, oh god, episode 8 had so much. So we find out that Shetty has been working on a virus to destroy supes. We don't know her reasons, but we know she really fucking hates them. And it's revealed in this episode. Now, I'm not going to tell you the reasons because we're going to get to it, but let's just say she has a pretty good reason. It links back to the original show, but Kate claims Rufus was responsible for the amnesia, so poor Rufus. I gotta say, okay, I'm gonna stop and say I feel bad for this guy.
Yeah,
He's had his
like, he's
penis
a super
exploded.
creep. He's a super creep, and he had some bad stuff happen to him. But fuck, man, he ain't got the best of luck either.
Like, look, okay, so Rufus's whole thing. So we get this out of the
You
way.
made me forget.
Rufus does have this thing where he interferes. He is a telepath like Kate, to a lesser extent, but he changes perception and stuff, and he has. We're just gonna come out and say it because I think this is what it is, because it is what it is. He's basically raped these girls. He's forced them to give
Oh,
consent.
for sure.
And he tricked them. And not only did he rape them, but he videotaped it. But at the same time, the punishment should fit the crime. Dude had his penis blown off. He ain't gonna be raping anybody. Yeah, like he's been punished. He ain't gonna rape anybody else. He does not have the equipment anymore. I'll leave that to you guys, and you can let me know in the comments how you feel about it.
You don't need a penis to rape somebody, but maybe they just don't call it that. Maybe it's just sexual assault if you shove a bunch of dildos inside.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but at this point, I think when you get your penis blown off, given everything that happens, I think he's.
Penis do. They need to stop fucking that. Like, I don't think he's gonna be a terrible person anymore now that he's ridiculous.
Oh yeah, he's been dealt with. But anyways, to add insult to injury, so Kate gets everyone on his trail. Of course, Marie and fucking Andre track this dude down. They fucking do a sprint track thing towards him. He evades them. Emma realizes she and Marie already know Sam because Marie, when she did when Marie and Emma's memory got wiped by a person, because I'm not going to reveal it till the end, but when the person erased their memory, they erased a specific moment. So they remember everything that happened before that moment. So they know each other. Marie knows she was with Jordan, all the drama, but they just don't remember things after that, like 3 days. So they don't remember meeting Sam. And Sam goes to see Emma, and he's all like, "Hey, how you doing?" They had a bonding moment, and she does not fucking know who he is.
Who are you?
Yeah, but she does have the feeling, because when you like someone, you have feelings, right?
In my pants.
So she's like, he seems familiar. And then I love that little thing they throw in where Marie looks at Emma and goes, he's kind of hot, isn't he? So like they have the feelings like they know. Yeah, they have the feelings like they know him, but they don't quite know where he's from. They lose track. Andre faints. We don't know why. We'll get to that later. Emma realizes she and Marie know Andre, Shetty, and Rufus are blamed by Kate. So they got half of it right. We'll get to that. Kate apologizes and forces Marie to forget because Marie figures out that everybody at the school has a tracker. And because of how her blood is, the clotting around where the tracker is makes like a lump. So she goes, wait, I have a blood clot. That's not normal. And I don't know if it's everything that's happened or she's getting more in touch in powers. They don't really explain that part. which is kind of one flaw of this. But anyways,
And she
so
shot the tracker out of her fucking shoulder
she
with her
shoots the
powers.
tracker out of her shoulder, and she tells Emma as a friend, or not Emma. She tells Kate as a friend, and Kate apologizes and then wipes her memory. So the person also in on it, dun, 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 is Kate. We'll get to Kate's reasonings in a bit,
Fucking Kate.
which is really fucking sad, but we'll get to that. But Kate
Dude, she's exactly, she's reminds me so much of Victoria Newman.
I was just gonna say, God damn it, we're gonna get to it, PV. Stop getting me excited. But yes, I do agree. Victoria Newman
No,
and Kate
she
are
reminds me of that in, like, she didn't have anybody there, and this is her authority figure that she finds comfort with.
Yeah, just like Victoria and our favorite John Carl
She
Esposito.
is her Jim Bazito.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But you know what happens to the people that they respect and love? They wind up killing them anyways. We'll get to that. Realizing Maria
Maybe.
had forgot a recent conversation she had, Jordan goes in.
Marie.
I'm sorry. That's the Puerto Rican in me. Maria. Anyways, Marie forgot her recent conversation. Jordan goes in to confront Rufus, but then they figure out, wait a second, Dickless Wonder doesn't even know anything. Poor dude is crying, everything else, and then fucking Andre comes in, and he takes fucking shears, he pins him against the wall, and he's about to kill him. And right at the moment he's about to kill him, Kate comes in and goes, stop. She realizes the shit has gone too far. She's racked with guilt and reveals she's the one who's been messing with their memories. And she touches them, and this is where we find out how fucking... And dude, a lot of these kids are powerful because we realize not only can she take memories, but she can put them back in or put them back into you. So she touches them, and he remembers everything.
Well, she tells you to remember.
Yeah, she tells you to remember.
Now, I wonder, do her powers work in a super fashion like my regular memories? Can you tell me to remember something specific on a day that I don't remember? Like, tell me what you had for lunch on August 28th, 2007. Like, I have no fucking idea. But if she told me to remember that, I think I'd be able to remember.
So we find out she has the ability to specifically, and I'm going to go with your theory because it makes sense. I think she can pick and choose the things you remember. I think also, too, she's got to extract them. So you would have to have her extract that memory.
I think it's in your mind, and there's a block put in place. Like a self-mental block. Like she's doing the equivalent of repressed memories. Which is why Emma still has the feeling for Sam.
You clever bastard. See, this is why I love doing reviews with you. I never even thought about that, but yeah.
Yeah, because,
and I brought that point
some
up.
people need to be clever.
Hey, I'm going to rule the world one day. Anyways, that isn't a point. So, everybody remembers...
I guess you can run the world that doesn't get destroyed by the Flashpoint. You should watch The
Flash. No, never. Anyways, I have stuck firm this far, and you know my feelings. This is, like you said, you take action,
I've known
or
your
you
feelings
bitch or
about
complain
other
about
things.
it. No, I'm taking action, and I will never see that movie. I will die not seeing one movie in the DC catalog. Just one. I even fucking saw Super Pets, which was great, by the way. The only DC movie I will never watch is Flash.
Super Pets is amazing.
Stuck. Nope. I don't care. I don't care if Michael Keaton's in it, which, trust me.
No, it's not about Michael Keaton. It's not about Michael Keaton.
I don't care if Zod wins, which he should.
Zod wins a lot.
Yeah, and I'm glad.
It'll make you feel good. You get to kill a girl.
I mean, I would feel super good about that. Anyways, that isn't the point. The point is episode 5. Where do you rate it? I was gonna give it an 8.5
Wait, we're on episode 5 now. Oh, that's right. Yeah. I gave it
because
at
of the
least a
plot twist.
9. I gave it a 9.
I gave it an 8.5 because I feel like it was kind of slow.
Emma was my favorite character again.
I mean, Emma's a standout in this. Hey, Aaron Cooper. We did say hi to you. Hopefully you got that. We love you, Aaron.
Oh,
So,
Aaron's back after nobody saying anything for 29 minutes.
so
Ah!
right now, if you guys don't know, one of my favorite characters in season 3 of The Boys is Soldier Boy. So, can you guess what I'm going to give this episode? I mean,
Wait, did you just move on to episode 6?
yes, I did. Can you guess what I'm going to give this episode?
Oh, you're probably going to give it a 10 out of 9.
I'm going to give this a 10 out of 9. This is my favorite fucking episode. You
Knock,
know
knock.
why.
Come on, knock, knock.
Who's there?
Go fuck your face.
So let's talk about my favorite episode of this whole season. I know, even I'd say
Jumanji.
Jumanji. So Kate restores everybody's memory, but there's a side effect. There's a side effect with her pushing. Throughout the whole series, her eyes bleed. They get super fucking bloodshot red, like she bursts fucking capillaries in her eyes doing what she does. And apparently there's a limit. And when she finally reaches her limit, and PB, would you say some of it was guilt too? Because I had a feeling like her being trapped was guilt.
Wait, she was trapped
Kate was trapped. So Kate has a seizure.
in her own mind?
Yeah, that was all her mind.
No, I know that when they were talking with Soldier Boy and everything that happened with that was in her mind. But I didn't think that. Maybe I don't remember it specifically. I don't remember Kate being trapped.
Yeah, Kate was not only trapped, but she was the architect because that was the whole thing. If they stayed in her mind for too long, they would be destroyed. So yeah, it was kind of one of those things. They were all psychically linked. She restored their memories, but then she goes into seizures. When they try to help her, they all fall asleep. And so this is a weird fucking mind meld memory. And so the first thing we run into is my favorite character.
The first thing we run into is the number 1 in Kate's spank bank.
So our favorite fucking if you guys have been following me, my favorite fucking hero, I guess, in The Boys.
Just call him a soup.
My favorite soup, Soldier Boy. So Kate has apparently a huge crush on Soldier Boy, and Soldier Boy is, in his words, her fuck boy, her soldier boyfriend, as he calls it. And so this is a fucking hilarious, like, 15-minute scene where he's describing how Kate visualized him, and then he goes into all the ways he taught her how to masturbate, which is like tickle or pickle, go for the sing the okay. This episode is worth watching just off of his fucking monologue alone. So
his intro is amazing.
His intro is the best. This is I'm just gonna say it, like, the last.
What are you fuck knuckles doing here?
Yeah, but his intro is the best. Jensen Ackles is probably he's so great in this role. I can't. There's certain actors that are born to play a role. And I remember him talking. He read all the Boys comics, as good actors do, and he studied the material. But I can't picture a more perfect person for this role. And he fucking insults the shit out of Andre, and he's like, "Yeah, but just think, every time she was fucking you, when she goes back to her Soldier Boy shaped pillow, she's still getting off to me."
Still getting off on me.
And he was like, so he explains what the rules are, and before he gets to the most important rules, her synapses are firing off, and they fucking destroy him. And they all look and they're like, what a dick. But
Soldier Boy's a dick, yo. Yes.
Soldier
Yes,
Boy's
he
a
is.
dick, yo.
That is the charm. That is the charm.
You know, and I just want to go on a little side tangent because I don't know if I covered this when we talked about The Boys season 3, but the thing I love about Soldier Boy is if we were realistically to picture what Captain America would be like, not the Marvel version and the Disney version, but like what he would be like in real life. Well, just think about it. He comes from the 40s. And look, I'm not saying that racism was a great thing or whatever, but it was a racist time.
What are you
And
trying to say?
so I'm
You
saying
trying to
the
stand up
depiction.
for the racism?
No, what I'm saying is the depiction of what a Captain America person would be like in that time
You
is
would
pretty
think
fucking accurate.
you would think that a General Zod would stand for racism.
No, I stand
I'm
for.
not. I'm not Kryptonian. What the fuck, guy? Jesus
I'm
Christ.
sorry, I'm eating pizza. Anyways, my point being is that I like that they kind of made Soldier Boy the way he is because
he's a dick.
he's a dick. Yeah, that's how
And you can sympathize with that. What's up,
100%.
Courtney?
What's up, Courtney? We are talking about
Did you watch this show?
Gen V. If you haven't, check out our review. Go back at the end of this, see our comments and critiques. We've been pretty agreeing on the level of the episode. So they're exploring. This episode is going into Kate's mind. We're finding out her backstory. So let me ask you this before I go further and explain what her backstory is.
Oh,
I think this does a really good job.
Courtney watched the show.
She nope. I'll definitely check it out on Amazon. It's a great show. I'll get to this at the end, but I think it's just as good, maybe even slightly better than The Boys. I'm gonna make that bold prediction, Cotton. Anyways, so they're in Kate's mind. She's betrayed everyone. The reason why she's going into this coma is because she's guilty. Now, before I get into everything that's happened, let me just ask you, PB. Does this kind of give you sympathy? Does this give you sympathy towards everything Kate has done up to this point? Because I'm not gonna lie, I think they do a really good job. Maybe I'm a villain though, but I kind
of sympathy for who?
For Kate. I feel really bad. I almost feel like she's kind of justified in everything that happens.
That was a trick. That was a trick question when I said sympathy for who. That was 100% a trick question. There isn't a single person in this show that you shouldn't feel sympathy for at some point. Like, I even have sympathy for Dean Shetty.
Oh yeah, we'll get to that in episode 7. And wouldn't we agree? This is good writing.
It's fucking phenomenal.
Oh yeah, people aren't simple. Everything isn't black and white.
Show with writing this good.
I mean,
people were getting killed left and right there too. Well, maybe not quite as fast. Like there's two things that are at the peak right now, and I don't know which ones that you're talking about, but I'm talking about The Boys and Yellowstone.
Amen. Yellowstone.
Like, I would love to see
Mwah.
what type of show. If you could get Eric and Taylor together to write a show, I would love to see what happened. Like, I don't care what it's said, I don't care what it's surrounded. It could just be like Stoner Dragons, which is kind of funny, but just let those two write something together, and I would love to see what comes of it. And, I mean, I can't think of two other people where you know their name.
Not only that,
Like,
but
how many other big shows out there do you know the writer's name, the creator, essentially? Like,
not
I can't think of
not only
any.
that, but can you honestly? Because I can't think of a show that Taylor Sheridan or Eric Kripke have made
I
that's
got
been
no
bad.
misses.
Hmm. What was that?
Yeah, I mean, there's something to be said about, well, this person created a great show, but then they also created this crap show. Show me the crap shows that these two people have created before, and then we could have a conversation about how they're not really that good. But it doesn't really matter if they weren't good in the past because they are both crushing it right now. I mean, this show is just as good as any season of The Boys.
And that's a high bar because
That's a super high fucking bar.
oh yeah, like,
Because the Boys has the deep.
and it has a fucking dolphin heist scene, which I never thought I
Oh
needed
my
in my
god, the
life.
dolphin heist.
But
Didn't
we
think
got
I
it.
needed it. Didn't know had no idea how I wanted it to play out. And it played out exactly how it would impact the deep the most, which is phenomenal.
Yeah, like
It
these
was a
are
complete
writers.
fucking disaster, which is right up his alley.
So Luke exposes a big secret. So they're going through a mind trip. We're getting a backstory on Kate. Basically, she did her mind thing, but she was so powerful as a young kid, she sent her younger brother away. I'm sure that's going to come up in a later season, but she didn't just influence him. She was so powerful and in touch with her power, she sent him somewhere. We have no clue where, but it's strongly implied. She literally sent him somewhere else. So it's implied Kate's
She Forrest
powers
Gumped
is
him.
pretty. Yeah, she Forrest Gumped him. It's implied Kate is pretty fucking powerful, and so we see Shetty come to her. And it's even implied that Shetty may be a kind of a mother figure towards Kate, and we'll get to this, and I'll get your thoughts on this later when we get to the episode 7. But there is a kind of love, and I think she really does have some kind of feelings for her. And so they're like these two lost and broken souls.
Or she's even that much more duplicitous.
On this, I'm gonna have to disagree. I think
I didn't
what
say
we
that
know
she
about
was. I said that she could be.
I think given what we find out in the next episode, I think it's more of that fucked up, twisted, like she has a mission. She used her for that mission, but she does have love for her. You could feel it in that scene. I don't think everything was 100% fake, despite her being influenced. We'll get to that. But anyways, so we find out how Shetty had first found her, and then the big reveal. And I wanted to know if this changes your feelings on Luke, because it doesn't for me. Like, Luke's a baller to me. Whatever. Or, I mean, Andre's a baller, but Luke.
Wait, who are you talking about? Luke or Andre now?
I'm talking about Andre, but Luke appears in his vision. So there's
Yep,
this thing
that's
where
Luke.
everything that's happened gets revealed to each of the characters, and it's going that they're not only seeing her memories, but they're linked into each other's memories. And actually, out of all of this, Marie has the most sympathetic memory. I got to her, I was like, "Aw." Everybody else has done some kind of fucked up douchebag thing from
Yeah.
the every one of them. And so it kind of makes me like Marie more. But I'll give them credit. They do a really good job of getting you on Marie's side, because Jordan, Andre, Kate, they've all done fucked up shit. Marie is the only one who has actually true good intentions. And what she did was not out of trying to advance herself or whatever else. She was a fucking kid. She first of all, she was experimented on without her knowing about it. But secondly, she was going through two rough points in her life, and she wound up losing everything. And on top of that, all she wants to do is find her younger sister and prove she's a fucking superhero. Like, I can see in the writing where they're trying to really make you like this character, but he does such a great job where I can buy this. This isn't like a Ray situation. Don't get me wrong. She has her flaws. She has her flaws. She does.
Ray does not have flaws.
But Ray doesn't have flaws, right? But she has her flaws. She's kept quiet. There's a lot of stuff she could have done and didn't. But at the end of the day, I buy everything that they tell me, and they set it up to where the tragedy fits within the narrative of the story, and it's so fucking sad. Like, okay, maybe I'm putting a personal emotion into this, okay? My daughter has gone through that point in her life. I'm not gonna get into details, but
Not
seeing
enough
that,
detail.
not gonna get into the details, but seeing that scene hit me a little bit harder, because just picture you're trying to help your kid, but not only are they going through that, but also they find out they have fucking superpowers that are connected with that, and they wind up causing destruction. Like, that's a lot for one person to hold. And we'll get to the ending, but I kind of
Do you
felt
think?
really.
Do you think when she was a kid? Do you think when she was a kid, her first thought was she was only going to have superpowers 1 week a month?
Well, based on what we know from the boys,
Because
she didn't even
maybe.
realize she was gonna have superpowers. But finding out that it was gonna be that time, no, I don't think any superhero would picture that. Look at all the female superheroes in the boys. That's a really, like, it's cool, and we'll explain her advancement in a bit, but it's cool, but it's kind of shitty. Like, that's a really shitty power. In the beginning, I was like, when I saw that, I go, "Oh God, she has a fucking terrible power."
Oh yeah.
I was like, bro, and not to be crude, but that time of the month, like, so would she not be able to control what happens with the blood? Because ladies get emotional, whatever, heightened emotions and things like that. Like, that is a fucking terrible power to have. That is an absolutely horrible power to have. That is just flying all over the place. But this is the thing where
keep her pants clean.
I mean, that's a good point. But this is the thing where
Question. Does that mean that she can also get a dried blood stain out of the rug?
maybe,
can she
but
just
from
pull
how
all the
I
blood out? I don't know.
no, from how I heard it, it has to be like alive. It's got to be like red. That's why she cuts herself for fresh blood. I'm gathering it has to be fresh blood.
No, I
Because
think that she
once
cuts
it's brown,
herself. I think that.
cells are dead.
You think so?
Yeah. It's even like scientific, right? When blood hits the air, the blood cells die because
Yeah, but it don't
they
happen
don't have the
instantaneously.
oxygen from the blood.
It don't happen instantaneously the way that you're thinking of it, because she still got the blood that was on the floor in the bathroom to go everywhere.
Yeah, but that blood wasn't dried yet, though. It was fresh
No,
blood.
it wasn't
Literally
dry. Right. So where's the line?
Good point. maybe we'll find out. Hopefully, in a season 2. I think this is gonna get a season 2, most definitely.
I fucking hope so. I hope Diabolical gets a season 2 here any moment.
Oh, I guarantee you, like, dude, with the ratings that these get, I guarantee you, there's no way that these shows don't get a season 2. So so they realize Luke exposes Andre, and we find out he was fucking his best friend's girlfriend. I'm gonna
Well,
stop right here. I don't know how to feel about this because, okay, there's a certain code, you and me know it. It's the bro code. Now, we can say she engaged, which is true, but I feel like I can't forgive Andre, man. It's the bro code. Okay, it's just like we're best friends, right? But like, if I fuck your girlfriend, or you fuck my girlfriend, there's like a line you don't cross. Even when you break up with someone, we all know the bro
we're
code.
even then.
You
You don't
ask
like being
permission.
you don't like being Eskimo brothers.
Fuck no.
I think your bro code is different than mine.
No. I live by the bro code of How I Met Your Mother, Barney's bro code, and that is you don't mess with another man's girlfriend unless you have explicit permission, or it's been the reasonable amount of time. Now that may vary. I mean, you can't hold somebody hostage in it, but
You sure?
but
I know.
that we're not dealing with that scenario. He was
Why not?
dating. He was dating Kate, and Andre fucked her. So, what did you
Many
feel about
times.
this when you found out? Because Kate cheated, and Andre didn't say no.
Well, it's super easy to cheat when you can just tell somebody to forget the cheating.
But remember in the episode, he wasn't compelled, and that was made very clear.
I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about Golden Boy. It's super easy to cheat on Golden Boy because you're just telling him to forget everything all the time.
I mean, okay, she could have said forget everything, but that still is on Andre. He had his memory. She never wiped it.
Why do you want me to focus on Andre?
Did that at this point in the show change your opinion on Andre? Because I was kind of like, bro, that's fucked up, man. And don't get me wrong, I still like Andre. We'll get to episode 8, but that was fucked up. Like,
it's only fucked up because it's his best friend. If it was just some other random guy that he fucking hated, if it was fucking Rufus, I probably wouldn't give a fuck.
I'd be on board. Cosign. Like, fuck Rufus. But we are dealing.
If by bro code you mean actual bros and not just another random guy?
We're talking bros. We're talking like he opened an investigation to find his best friend's murderer. He took it personal. We've seen it through the whole season. I think that's fucked up on so many levels.
He was not looking for his best friend's murderer. His best friend killed himself. He knew who the murderer was.
No, he was looking for the reason why.
There you go.
And that still signifies it was strongly hinted and implied through the whole season. They were close. And as close as they were, you fucked your best friend's girl. I'm sorry. Something about that, I have a little personal story in that I'm not going to get into, but let's just say I've had it happen to me. Well, I think that is fucked up. You don't do that. Like,
they alluded to it a little bit in the Whole Truth when Tech Knight asked him, how long you been eating your best friend's girl's hole?
Hole, yeah. I remember that. So, okay, that's actually, you caught something I didn't.
And he didn't say how long. At that point, he didn't say how long.
Yeah, so you know what? That's a good callback, and that's actually clever writing too, because the clues were there. But I don't know, man. It just rubs me the wrong way. I kind of had to be one back because like that's just so
None
fucked up
of
to
these
me.
people are heroes.
But they're not boys levels villains either. They're not the 7-level douchebaggery. They're just
No, they are
plain.
looking out for themselves. Like, holy shit, how many fucking episodes? There's like 3 episodes where Jordan's like, yeah, I'm still not number 1 though.
I
It's like,
mean,
we
fair,
fucking
but
did it,
Jordan
guy.
proves how they feel by the end of it. We'll get to the next episode, but there's still, I don't know, like, I don't know. That part just didn't sit very well with me.
You
Okay,
wouldn't know.
you can call it personal bias. It is. But just like, I hate that shit, man. It just bugs me. It's like,
You are a
and you know
shit
what? I
hater.
blame the woman too. If you're gonna fuck over your guy like that, like, and ladies, please,
Fuck
just
'em hard.
look, just break it off or tell them you're not interested. Like, look, I know guys can be assholes or whatever else, but here's the down to earth truth. If you're going to fuck somebody over, have the decency to get it all out there and just fucking stab them in the front. Don't stab them in the back. That's just shitty. That is shitty. I won't ever co-sign it. And look, I know guys are guys. Like, dude, Kate's hot. I can't say I would have held out either. And she's a mind
Kate ain't
control.
that hot. Kate ain't that hot. She's pretty skinny.
Okay,
She's up
that's
your.
your
She's right up
preference.
your alley.
That's your preference. Like,
Marie's way hotter. Marie's way hotter.
I mean, I'm
Now, to
surprised
be
by
fair,
that because
to
she's
be
not
fair,
she's pretty skinny too. There, PB. I
she is
think
pretty
maybe a
skinny.
little
She
bit.
is pretty skinny,
Oh,
but
so you
it's
like that
not
chocolate?
exactly the same.
So you
Oh,
like a
for
little bit
sure.
of chocolate?
No, but what I was also going to say was Emma's hot too, and there's not much to her. Like, she's a very small lady.
But to be fair, Emma's got a little. She's not fat, but she's got a little meat to her bones. I
Okay.
remember when she went big. Like, she's got a little meat to her
Oh,
bones.
she went. We didn't even talk about when she went
Oh
big.
yeah, that was the reason why I liked that episode when they lost 3 days. So she went big
Because
when she
dude,
was
I was
skinny.
literally wondering that when I started watching the episode, right? When I started watching that
Yeah.
episode, and they're like, "Oh, okay, so you puke to get small and you eat to get big," and then I went, "Wait a
So
second.
let's get a
What
let's
if you
get.
start? What if you start at nothing and you just are like, okay, give me 5 turkeys,
Let me ask you
and you
something.
just start
So
pounding fucking turkey."
this is clearly a message about what's overeating because there's bulimia.
Overeating is gluttony, but
No. There's a
I don't
disease
know.
for it. But anyway, so she overeats to get bigger. She pukes to get smaller. So both ways, her power fucking
I
sucks.
don't know, guy. I have a feeling that she grows when she eats. Like, I don't think she has to
But she
overeat and like.
overeats to grow
No,
because she
that's what
shoved
I'm
all
saying.
that
That's
spaghetti
what
and shit
made
in her
her
mouth.
gigantic. But what I'm saying is, if she just gets a fucking Big Mac and fries, she's gonna grow just a little bit. Now, does she have to throw up some of that food in order to stay the size that she's naturally? I don't know. I don't know how her food consumption works. And like, okay, where do you draw the line at consuming food? Like, is it a shake or a malt or a smoothie? Are these food? Like, if you take broccoli and all kinds of frickin' other vegetables and you break them down into a smoothie, does that now become a drink and it doesn't count as food? So it's not going to make her grow? Like, is it the digestion process of the food that makes her grow? I don't know. But hopefully, we'll never have to find out.
Yeah, that's a curious and interesting question.
That's me putting in a little. Here's what's coming later. Foreshadowing. That's the word. I knew there was a fucking word. I couldn't think of it.
Yeah.
Don't go silent on
Okay.
me now.
So we get to there's different memories flying around. We get Jordan's memory where she doused Luke in the beginning with some kind of gas that knocked him out. So she knew something was up, but she advanced herself to become TA, and there drama between her and Murray. She's like, "Oh my goodness, how could you do this?" Blah blah blah. So
Yeah,
then,
that was the first time that she got the bullshit speech from Brink.
yep, and we find out Brink was basically using Jordan.
Brink is like a mini devil.
Oh yeah, I still loved Brink because
He's
Kyle
not. He's a great actor, but holy fuck, man, what a. Oh, what's the word I'm looking for now? Such a
manipulator,
moment.
piece of shit. I don't know.
Sure, those will work.
He's playing 3D chess, but anyways, and then we get to the big reveal. Rodin, who is the doctor, is doing an experiment where he was mixing Luke's blood with Sam's blood, which is why Sam has that super strength, but
Trying
also
to soup the soup.
Yeah, he's got that soup strength, but he's kind of going crazy. He was mixing it with Luke's blood to create like this hybrid who's like pretty much at the level of fucking Homelander. Wink, wink, nod, nod. Not saying that's gonna come back later. Anyways,
Yeah, so I would love to know what he used specifically in his powers to kill himself, because they don't exactly talk about that.
I think he combusted himself, but we'll get to that. And so we see Kate knew from the beginning. She wiped Jordan's memory because she wiped Luke's memory because he woke up in the chair when the blood transfusion was happening. So she's been on it from the beginning. She knew about the woods. She knew where it was. And, not looking good on Kate there. And then Annabeth accused her of willfully killing them. Eventually, they confront Kate and they tell her she's got to wake up because if she doesn't wake up, they're all going to die because basically her brain was dying. Yeah, the electricity that hit Soldier Boy in the beginning, it was her wiping everything out. And so they got to get her to wake up or they will all die if they're in her head. And
Or they're gonna get flash pointed.
oh yeah. Fuck you though for that reference. Emma talks. Kate and Sam arrives after they wake up, and Kate is all like, "I want to help you," blah blah blah. Sam is like, "Fuck this bitch," because he remembers everything that happened. He grabs her by the throat. Looks like he's gonna fucking kill her. But he's talked down by Emma, and so he lets her go. And you find out that the whole experiment was trying to mix Soup's blood, creating this virus, all sorts of fuck shit. And then Cordoza tests his virus on the electric girl, Betsy, and she grows sick. He gives her a little bit more, and you find out that she fucking dies horribly with like measles.
Oh my god!
It's terrible. She's got
bad.
like measles or mumps or something. She's fucking. There's pus. She's bleeding
And
all over the place.
it's not right. It's not like a poison where it's like, oh, you feel like shit for the 2 minutes while you die. No, it was. I don't know how fast, but it seemed like she was sick for like 4 or 5 days.
Yeah,
I'm
and
just
it was only what, a couple of
literally
days.
dying for. Yeah, it's not long. Then they put her in the. Did they? No, they put the next person in the cell with the rest of the other people to see how contagious it'd be.
And so she hasn't figured it out. But they want to make the virus airborne, and that's kind of where we end the episode. So, what did you think of this episode? Where do you rate it? You already know. I gave this episode fucking 10. It was so great. There was so much shit that happened, and Soldier Boy's appearance alone was like a 10 out of 10.
She's a 10.
Yeah.
I mean, it had enough action. Like, it wasn't a solid fight scene from start to finish like the season finale damn near is. But it had a lot of action. And, I mean, what is it? All the flashback scenes? When
Yep.
everybody gets to jump from our memory to your memory to your memory to your memory, all working it back to the person whose brain we're all stuck inside of in reality. So now we can get the fuck out. I thought that was great.
Mm-hmm.
And the episode's called Jumanji, so half a point.
Yeah, so we get to the part where we finally got most of the pieces together, and now we are on episode 7-6. We're close to the ending. This is where a lot of shit is revealed. There's a lot to break
Stuff
down.
starts coming together.
Stuff starts coming together. Maria and Jordan break into or Marie and Jordan break into Shetty's office to gather evidence. Meanwhile, the dude comes in. He starts pissing all over the place. Needless to say, he's super
Oh my
angry.
god, he pissed in her alcohol.
He pissed in her alcohol.
I want to know if she drank any of it because we never get to see.
We don't.
I don't think she did.
And we also find out at this point that Shetty's motivation. She goes to meet uh, uh our first guest appearance, or no, our third, but you know what I mean. Like the biggest link. She meets the general from the boys and tells them that she has got this virus that'll kill all supes. The general from the boys is like, this is fucking nuts. We can't
Oh,
just.
what the hell's her name? What the hell's her name? Shit.
I fucking forget.
Billy's favorite lady.
Yes.
God damn. I feel so dumb right now. Anyway.
Oh,
it doesn't matter.
Mallory.
Everyone...
It's Mallory.
There we go.
She basically says that Homelander was responsible, and Homelander killed her family in what, the second season? No, the first season of Boys. That plane crash that Homelander caused by cutting the fucking plane in half with his laser beams when trying to get the terrorists, her family was on the plane. And so this whole time,
we're talking about the plane where him and Maeve show up there, and she's like, "You gotta let the plane," and he's like, "What do you want me to push against?"
Yeah, he goes, "I can wind up crushing it or whatever."
And then he crashed the motherfucker so that everyone would die, so that they wouldn't know he was an asshole.
And I thought that this was a good link to the first season because it makes sense. We don't know whose family members were on there, but Shetty's family members were on there. So Cardoza realizes what the plan is. He gets super fucking drunk. He's like, fuck it. He's going to go to Vought. I'll come back to that. Meanwhile, he goes on his little rampage. He rambles about the virus. And of course, Jordan and Marie were hiding underneath the desk. So they find out that she's about to unleash a virus that could kill all supes. Shetty goes to Colonel Mallory. Mallory refuses because she's like, I'm not going to genocide all of the fucking supes, you know, because there's kids, there's adolescents. Like, a lot of the world has been dosed by V. So she's not going to do the genocide thing. But she does make a mysterious call. Now, if you're a fan of the boys, this wasn't a mystery. We already know.
Grace told her to completely get rid of it. She goes, "This is way too dangerous. You need to stop making this stuff. You need to get rid of it. Destroy everything. Don't let anybody know that you're connected to this. Because if people know you're making anything that could just wipe out supes, you will be murdered.
Oh yeah, 100%. But of course, she doesn't fucking listen. So Mallory makes a secret phone call. Now, if you're a fan of the boys, you already know who she's calling to get this thing. She's calling the boys. And
I assume she called Mother's Milk.
yeah, either Mother's Milk or Billy Butcher, one of them. And Andre's father, meanwhile, suffers a seizure, and we find out that the drawback to
Dude, I
polarity.
never seen somebody take a more ridiculous beating and nothing serious happened to them than the paramedic in the back of that frickin' van.
Oh yeah,
She got
they fucking.
whacked like 6 fucking times. And she's like, "Are you gonna do something?" He goes, "I'm trying here." And I was like, "How are you not? Something should have flew and just fucking murdered you. Like, how are we not crashed yet? What is happening?" I was so disappointed with this one fucking person not getting killed. And she's completely innocent. But I was like, I thought for sure. Like, the first time she got whacked, I was like, this is not going to end well for you. And she's perfectly fine.
Oh yeah, yeah.
She's like, this is my disappointment from the season. This is it.
So Newman exposes the woods, and so there's a lot of heat coming up, and the Vought machine goes down there. Kate, meanwhile, confronts Shetty. She's at her house. They all gather together, and we don't know if Kate's falling for Shetty's bullshit or not, but then they all gather together. And Kate tells Shetty to reveal everything. And this is where the heel turn. Yeah, see how I used a wrestling turn? Kate forces Shetty to say her plans, and everybody's like, "Oh, this is horrible. We got to stop her. What are we gonna do?" And Kate goes off the fucking deep end. She's
And
like,
Kate says, now it's time.
"Yep." Kate decides humans aren't worth saving. People are shitty. She fits in with someone we'll see later, and she basically says we are going to release the people from the fucking experiment, and we're gonna
You're
just fucking
skipping
kill everybody.
over her killing Shetty.
And so she says, She says, you know what to do, and Shetty fucking cuts her own throat. This gives
Oh, I was
Marie.
bitching.
Oh yeah, she slices her throat fucking really super slow, and so Marie has a fucking flashback. Meanwhile, Cardoza meets up with Newman. Newman was in this episode. She talks to Marie and tells her to play the game and everything else. And you find out that Newman was the one who got Marie into the school. That
She's the
they both,
benefactor.
she's the benefactor, and that they both have a similar background. So Newman is very like attached to Marie and has this kind of bond with her because they got the same kind of background. And
Their
so
bond is so close it would blow your mind.
she teaches her to use a new ability where she can hear the blood in people and sense what's their intentions is by listening to their blood, which I thought was fucking awesome. Her powers are like fucking really ridiculously cool. She still has a limiter. She still doesn't understand how it all works, but she acquires this new ability that'll be important for later. Meanwhile, Cordoza's feeling guilt, the dude who pissed in the fucking bottle of liquor, and he goes to meet with Newman. And Newman is like, I know you've been working on a virus, do the right thing, blah, 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 the whole political thing, and he does. And I kind of feel bad for Cardoza. This whole time, he's trying to get out of it. He knows he created something that's shitty. Newman, being herself, can't
Being
get.
herself.
Yeah, she's a cunt. I'm sorry, and she knows she can't let the secrets get out. She can't risk
Yeah,
him
but
hanging
she's
out.
pretty attractive.
Oh yeah, she's attractive. She's just a fucking bitch. So
That's part of it.
she explodes fucking Cadoza's head all over the place. He thinks he's getting out, and she hands him a card, and she's like, "If you ever need help, call me." And when he looks at the card, there's nothing on it. And when that scene happened, I go, "No." Oh
Yeah, okay,
man,
so
I
missed
was like,
opportunity.
"Oh, what? I
Opportunity.
just want to go home." I don't think
They,
he would
sh-
have told
they, sh-
anyone.
they should have had it. Did they have a drop of blood drop on the card?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The
Thought
blood
I
drops.
made that up in my head. I
No,
thought I
no,
was
the
gonna say
blood
it's gonna
drops,
drop
and
right
he
on the
goes,
card.
no, the blood drops on the card, and he goes, "Oh, it must be the dry air." And right after he says it, her eyes does
Oh,
the thing, and his fucking head explodes. And I was like, "Oh no, not Cardoza!" Like I felt bad for him. Out of
at
every
least his
shitty
family's
person,
safe.
but she does keep her word, and she doesn't go after family. So it's implied his family is safe, but it was just shitty. Cardoza didn't deserve that, but I get the move. So, what did you think of episode 7? Sick. Uh, I give this episode a 8 out of 10.
Let's double check because I want to say that I gave it a 9.
I gave it an 8 just because there was one scene that
I
got.
said Kate was my favorite actor in the episode.
I gave it an 8 because Cardoza died. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like I get it. In the world of the boys is vicious or whatever, but I feel like I don't think they needed to kill him personally. That was I guess in the whole journey of the boys and Gen V, I feel like he's somebody who didn't deserve to die. I get it. People who don't deserve to die on this show all the time. That death just kind of pissed me off. I think that she could have let him go, and I felt like a lot of that death was just for shock value. Um, yeah, I think his death is just the thing that rubbed me the wrong way. But anything that stuck out for you that you didn't like in the episode?
Wait, whose death rubbed you the wrong way?
Cardoza, the scientist guy. Like after he pissed in the bottle of
Oh,
fucking liquor, he should have lived just off that. Like,
I mean, I guess being the universe we're in, I expect every non-soup to die.
yeah, like I get it. We're in that kind of shitty universe, but I don't feel like I feel like he could have been used in other way. You know what I mean? He could have appeared again in the boys or something like that. Hell, he could have maybe been like tracked down by Butcher or something. I just think they killed his character off too soon. I think there's a lot you could have did with his character, and they kind of wasted it. Obviously, he's super fucking smart to come up with a way to kill superheroes with a virus, but I
You know,
think
we
they could have done
completely
more with
for
him.
we didn't talk about the town hall, the radicalization of Sam.
Oh yeah, yeah.
He was supposed to stay in the room the entire time, and then he just goes to the party, and then from the party they go to this stupid town hall that she's hosting at the college that goes right off the rails because everyone's calling her a socialist or a fascist or something like that because they don't want
And
to by the man.
here's the part. So we talked about the politics, and I'm sure we're in agreement. They do politics pretty well. Uh, this is an example where the politics kind of annoy me. You know what I mean? Like I
Oh, not
can.
me.
What was that?
Not me. I like that. I thought that they did it perfect.
I can see the argument, but it always feels like right politics get the short end of the stick. You know what I mean? Uh,
I guess. Sure.
she's supposed to be a representation of the conservative side of things, and they've showed the
Is
left
she?
as being, yeah,
Because bullshit, her running mate's supposed to be a Democrat.
yeah, but that's supposed to show that the conservative and Democrats are running together as a show of unity. That was in the 3rd season of The Boys. But anyways, I still think that they tend to be a little bit like, I don't know, it is semi-realistic. I don't know. I'm conflicted. I'm conflicted by some of the implications of what they're saying. It's not saying it's wrong. Maybe it's my personal bias. I'll admit. I could be just leaning off of feelings rather than looking at the scene. I don't know. I'd like to think our politics align similarly. So if you weren't
Who's
offended,
mine and yours?
mm-hmm.
There's nothing to be offended by. Like, what am I supposed to get offended by?
I don't know. Like whenever they show these
At no
town hall meetings
point,
or things
at
like that, they've
no
done this with
point,
the boys too.
nobody stopped their progression in the story to make a political point. And like I said earlier, the golden example, at least that I have of that, is the last season of Arrow, when we're trying to save the entire goddamn universe, and we gotta pull off to the side so that what's Oliver's kid's name? I don't even fucking remember
Yeah,
anymore.
I know what you're
But
talking about.
future son comes back, and we gotta stop saving the universe so that we can sit down on the couch and he can go, Dad, I'm gay. And Dad goes, I know. And I was like, what in the fuck are we even doing right now? Like, he already knew. Well, you gotta let the person be able to tell him. I was like, we're trying to save the fucking universe here. Like,
Okay,
this is a
that's
conversation that can be had tomorrow.
that's a good point because this is
That's
literally
what I'm
a
saying.
politically.
It's when you take away from the story. Like, part of Jordan's story, if we're talking the politics, is that she. See, I said she. You were saying he before, but it doesn't really matter when it comes to Jordan Lee.
No, I've said they too because it's literally. It's not. We're not using pronouns here.
Right.
There are
So
literally 2 different people. It is
they
one
were
body.
born and was a boy. Like, when she came out, he came out, they came out, right? It was only a boy. And then figure out what your powers are, and you can switch back and forth. Now,
Wait,
exactly the science on that, like, is Jordan Lee always going commando just for, like, ease of use? Or, like, this boy body is bigger than the lady body? The clothes don't change, do they? He's just
no, they
changing
don't.
his body.
The body
Right, the
frame
clothes don't
changes
change.
because
Right,
the
so
boy
is he
version is
wearing
smaller.
clothes? He's wearing clothes that are tight on a man but loose on a girl? Because that's not how it looks to me. I feel like there's a minor plot hole.
No.
Or
The
maybe it's not a
clothes get
plot hole, maybe
tighter.
it's a power hole.
The clothes get tighter, and he still's got
I
like
guess
the
I'd have to
necklace
pay
and the
more
earrings.
attention.
Yeah. I rewatched today to get a good sense. But the point being, yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just that's a little
You're
bit
not
about it.
supposed to pull away from the story to make your political point. When the political points come up throughout the story, that's what makes them feel natural and not like you're trying to slap us in the face with the dead fish.
I mean, good point. You've made your point. That'll bring it up to 8.5 for me. I just still with all of the things that were revealed and things like that, it was good, but it doesn't hit as hard as the next episode. And I'm just gonna spoil my rating right away. 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10. Ay, ay, ay.
This episode is only 39 minutes, and we do not fuck around in this episode
39
at
minutes
all.
was 39 minutes with credits.
It was
So it's
solid.
more like 35.
Okay, if it was
Balls
35
to the
minutes,
fucking walls.
solid 35 minutes of not fucking around. So we get our favorite CEO of Vought, Ashley, comes back. We know she wears a wig because she has gone bald with all the fucking stress. So she comes
So
back to
got Ashley. It's got Ashley at number 2 on the first one on the list for people coming back was Luke coming back.
Yeah, but Luke is an hallucination in this. So she's
That
come
is
back
correct,
to.
but he's still in the fucking episode. That's not the point. So he's first. Then it's Ashley.
No, Ashley is first because they show her arriving in the
No,
Vought.
that's not how the meme works. That's not how the meme works at all.
It shows her
There's
first
gotta be 5
showing up
stages.
in the Vought
There's gotta be
helicopter.
5 stages. Like look at my 5 stages of meme. Got Luke first.
Anyways, so
And
Ashley
Ashley.
shows up and she's there to get shit back on track.
And the director guy.
Yep. And the guy who's been making the movies and shit, and they're gonna put a spin on everything that's happened. So they start pulling up the
And
things
it's
from
the
Kate.
Homelander.
That's last. Anyways, don't spoil it. Anyways, so Kate and
What do you
Sam,
mean
they
don't spoil it?
return.
Just start pulling the fucking Band-Aid off.
So Kate and Sam return to the woods, and they have gone and freed all of the captives from the woods to the campus, and they start fucking murdering all of the guards. Everybody, not
Anyone
supes
that's a
in
human.
particular,
Yep. Anyone that's
just
not a
human.
soup. Which I thought was fucked up. It was like, he walked up to the first person. Are you a soup? Yeah. What the fuck, man? I'm trying to record my video. Goddamn Lucas.
And Marie, Jordan, and Emma attempt to try to calm things down. Of course, it's not working. Marie, meanwhile, is becoming a badass. She starts fucking whipping blood around. She's exploding people. She's got like the force choke, but with blood. We'll get to that.
Dude, but you skipped over the fact that Kate made one of the guards eat his own hands.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there was that.
Oh my god.
That was pretty
He
brutal.
starts chewing on the fingers. Oh! Oh! He just fucking screaming and don't stop eating. Holy fuck.
Sam is hallucinating Luke. Now, Luke is trying to. I think. I don't know about you. We're going to get philosophical, but I think Luke is a representation of Sam's still good side because he's saying, hey, you don't want to go down this path. You're good. You've been trying your hardest, and you've got to do the right thing here. And they're in that room, and basically Sam tells him to go fuck himself, and closes the door. So he officially basically closes that part of himself off. So he's full on fucking evil mode. He does not care. He is on the side of Kate, and they start tearing through this fucking campus. And Kate does a thing where she gets rid of his emotion because Sam asks her to destroy that part of himself because he doesn't want to feel to do what he has to do. And saddest moment, I was fucking angry about this, but I'm still going to give it a 10 out of 10. Sam breaks up with Emma. He's like, you care too much. You're too invested. And at this point, Kate had destroyed his emotions, so he breaks up with Emma, our favorite character. Fucking
disaster.
Fucking disaster, dude. I was so fucking sad. I was like, I gotta say, that pulled on the heartstrings. That was his last kind of emotional way, their way to pull him back. And now you basically got this Superman who's full on, has no emotions, doesn't give a shit. They're fucking everyone up. Andre, meanwhile, is with Polera, his father, and he realizes that they have traces of iron in their blood, and that's how they're able to control metal. And it's going to eventually kill him. And Polarity says to Andre, I'm passing on my torch. I'm giving you the mantle. You've got to go on, son.
We gotta get the suit resized.
Mm-hmm. He's like, I'm giving you everything. I'm giving you my super suit, platform, everything. He's dying, and it's up to his son now to do the right thing. And this is where you see a shift in his character. He tells him, no matter what. And I got to give him credit. I thought every parent was going to be a douchebag in this, and being a parent myself, I'm like, oh, come on, man. But Polarity comes through for us parents, and he's like, look, no matter what happens, no matter how everything ends up, I want you to be a hero. You do what you feel is right. It's not always going to be easy. It's going to be a long, hard road. He's like, I don't regret anything I've done. I provided for my family. I did what I had to do, but son, you can do better. And I want you, no matter what you do, to be a hero. And this is the shift where Andre becomes a full-on good guy. Because he's like, he was straddling that line for a while. He's in love with Kate, the whole thing. And he goes,
I love you, Kate.
Yeah, but he doesn't become a Jon Snow. I'm so glad for that. He says, no, I gotta do
did you just take a shot at the King of the North?
I sure as fuck did. Come at me, bro. He was a cuck. Let's be real. But anyways, he doesn't pull a Jon Snow. He says, not my queen. I'm going to do what is right. And he decides
Justice.
Justice, exactly. He is fighting on the side of truth and justice and another American way and all that bullshit. Meanwhile, Marie is trying to stop people. We see her extent. Invisible Guy, my favorite guy. I'm glad she didn't kill him. Honestly, I was gonna be super pissed. But Kate touches the Invisible Guy. He takes off his fucking shades and he's had the whole entire series. I'm surprised. Yep. I thought that llama was gonna come back, but no, thank goodness. I didn't want the llama being hurt in this.
No llamas were injured at any point. No
llamas were injured in any point of the show, but the Invisible Guy actually got some good punches, and he was fucking people up. And so Marie's like, go after fucking Kate. I'll take care of this. And so we see the extent of her power, and she remembers what Newman tells her, and she can actually see the fucking circulatory system based on blood.
Oh, yeah.
And uses it to track the Invisible Guy and fucking clobbers the shit out of him, and he's butt-ass naked. It was fucking hilarious. I was like, you know what? That alone was 10 out of 10, because I was like, don't hurt Invisible Guy. Okay? I really like him. Man, he didn't know what he was doing. But anyways.
Yeah, he's a tiny trans.
So
he's tiny translucent.
Translucent, yep. So he's knocked out on the ground. Jordan is fucking up some people. They look at each other. There's a little lovey-dovey moment. And then the big, shocker moment. Kate's gonna touch Jordan. Is Jordan gonna fight Marie? But no. Marie
Kate was gonna touch Andre.
No, Kate was gonna touch Jordan, because Jordan was standing over him, and then he looks up, and then he's going towards Marie, and then all of a sudden Kate comes out of nowhere. She's gonna touch. She's gonna touch their shoulder, and then boom, her fucking arm explodes with the force. I'm gonna say force choke, because she went like that. She causes fucking Kate's arm. Oh, and it's so gory. It's quite awesome. There's blood and bone and chunks of flesh. It's fucking disgusting. It's everything you'd expect. But wait, there's more.
Right as we get at the height. Only work. Hold on. Does Kate's power only work through her hands? Like if she touches me with her nub, can she push me?
I don't know. That's a very interesting question. We'll get back to that. But highlight of the show, in the sky, all of a sudden we see something fly past and drop down, and it's fucking Homelander. And Homelander's not too happy because, as fucked up as Homelander is, he has one code. And what is that, PB? What is the one thing Homelander does not like anybody doing? He does not like supes killing their own kind. And so,
Unless it's him.
yeah, unless it's him, because, you know, he's fucking twisted. But despite everything that happened, he
I just went past that man.
he laser beams fucking Uri in her chest.
See, I don't want to know how these fucking superpowers work. Like, it seems like a lot of people that would have what I would call, like, regular powers. Like, you can do a thing. You can push people, right? Like, Kate can push people. Andre has Magneto powers, okay? How can all of these people take fucking laser beam eyes to the chest and not be fucking murdered? Like,
I mean,
what?
I'm
I don't
gathering.
understand what makes them also, like, invulnerable, essentially.
I'm gathering he didn't go full blast. There is a thing in the 3rd season where he can control it. He learns how to do it.
No, he can control it.
No, he learns how to do it from the other chick when he's fucking her and laser beams her.
Right, when he laser beamed her, it should have fucking went through her too. That didn't make an entire amount of sense to me either.
No, she kills quickly. I'm gathering, and from what they said, because they said it in one of the seasons, supes heal faster. So I'm gathering they heal, as long as he doesn't continue doing it, they heal quick.
Sure.
I don't know. I'll give it a pass. Anyways, so they wake up and
What do you think of these? Hold on. What do you think of these two dumb bitches stuck in their dorm room when the Wi-Fi cut out and they freaked out?
oh, that was fucking hilarious.
Who's gonna know if we die?
Yeah, two girls are stuck in there. That was pretty fucking funny. And then Marie, Jordan, and Emma and Andre get blamed for Sam and Kate's attack. Meanwhile, Sam and Kate are dubbed the new Guardians of Godot. We cut to a hospital. They're in literally a sealed room. There's no fucking door, so I don't know how they're gonna get out, because literally it was like an octagon with no door, and they're sealed in this like experimental room.
Yeah, they're sealed in the experimental room, but before they got sealed in the experimental room, someone shrunk.
Or they got teleported. I don't know.
No, I'm talking about Emma shrunk.
Yeah, so
without puking.
oh yeah, that's the thing too. So maybe now she can control her power without puking. That's
I don't
another
know if
thing.
she can control it yet, but she's getting closer.
So we got that breakthrough. We got that they're sealed in a room that can't be. Apparently, they had to have been. So I wanted to talk about this for a second. They had to have been teleported there, because how the fuck the room doesn't have a door, it doesn't have windows, it doesn't have anything. So I'm gathering there's a soup with teleport powers that teleported them.
I mean,
because
not
there's no way in
necessarily.
there.
Like, they could have just built it that way. Maybe it does have a door, it just doesn't look like it.
I don't know. That's a question. Maybe there is like a button or a panel they have to press for a secret door, but it looks like there's nothing there. Like maybe they were teleported into the room. I don't know,
that's
but
possible.
Yeah, they were teleported into a room. They wake up. They're like, "What's going on?" Blah blah blah. Stinger goes to credits, but in a mid-credit scene, our final fucking cameo, Billy Butcher is in the ruins of the woods, looking for something. What is he looking for?
Yeah.
Did he find it?
I don't know.
But if I had to guess, it was the virus. Billy Butcher
Well,
was
yeah.
looking for that virus at the end of the episode to make sure that they get a hold of it as opposed to the supes. But unknown to them, Newman already has the virus. We don't know what she's planning on doing. I think this is going to be tied into The Boys season 4. But overall thoughts.
How could it not be?
What was your rating? Do I even have to ask for this final episode?
I guess you don't have to ask, but it makes the structure of the show better when you do ask.
So, Mr. Pop Culture PB, what is your final rating
I mean,
for
in
episode 8?
in the tweet for the episode tonight, it doesn't say Pop Culture PB. It says the Almighty Pop Culture PB, which is a little terrifying because, like, I don't need Bobby Lashley coming after me.
So, Almighty PB, what is your
9.
9? So, what is the point deduction? Because for me, it was a perfect episode. The cameos worked.
Oh,
The
I thought you were
battles
asking.
were fantastic.
Whoa, sorry. I thought you were asking about the season.
No,
My
we'll
mistake.
get to the season.
Just the episode. The episode's a 10. The episode was fucking amazing.
Yeah, best, one of the best season finals I've seen.
For everything that I don't know what's going on, they also thicken the plot of the universe, and you know how I love connected shows.
Oh yeah. This was a perfect.
This is fucking amazing. I thought it was just going to be like vaguely connected, right? That's what I was expecting. I didn't even fucking know it existed until one day I just happened to turn on Prime and they're like, hey, here's Gen V from The Boys. And I was like, wow, you marketed this just about as well as you marketed Diabolical. And I say it that way because I pay for Prime so I don't have to watch the ads. But when the ad plays at the beginning of whatever I'm watching, whether it's Doom Patrol or The Flash or what the hell else was I watching lately? I don't remember what it was. I think I was watching Saw movies on there. Or no, that was on Max. Prime, like Clerks and Farm, doesn't do it there and there. But whatever you put on there, I was watching Saw movies on Prime. That's what it was. I watch that fucking ad if it's something that, catches me. And if they put a big freaking banner that goes, The Boys spinoff, I will watch whatever you're going to show me after that. Like, I'll give it the good old once over and be like, maybe it's interesting, maybe it's not. I didn't know that this existed until I turned Prime on, and there it is on the banner. And I was like, what the fuck is this? So I started watching, and I was like, oh. Wow.
So we both agree 10 out of 10. So let's talk about the series as a whole. And let's be fair.
9.
I mean, yeah, I'm there with you. 9. If we tally up all of our scores and divide it equally, yeah, it's definitely a 9. But let's get into negatives first, so we don't sound completely biased.
I just gave it a 9.
That it's not perfect though. So what are some of your negatives? I know you said there's a couple of plot holes. What things would you like them to answer?
I did not say that there was a couple of plot holes.
You said there was a plot hole.
I said potentially one.
Okay, so what's the potential plot hole? What? Okay, let me rephrase that. What's your negative for this? Like, what keeps you from making it perfect?
I mean, some of the stuff that I don't understand yet, but I don't know if it comes down to me being a moron, or the show moving too quickly, or the show just straight up not revealing information and stringing you along. Or it could be a combination of all three of those things.
I choose to believe that, and I agree with you in a sense. I choose to believe it's them holding stuff very closely to the chest, so to speak.
I would hope so.
And that's the thing, that you can't judge accurately how good a show is going to be until about the second or even the third season, because not everything's revealed in the story, right? We're just in the beginning,
Right,
which
and
is why I think
it's not like you have a villain to work against, where you could watch a season of Arrow and be like, okay, took the whole season to take this villain down. They finally took him down. Mission fucking accomplished. Next season starts, boom, new villain. Now we're dealing with this villain through the entirety of the season, while we deal with the individual villains on a weekly basis. Like, I get that. You don't have that in a show like this.
no, it's one of those shows where it'll tell you some of the story, but it's not going to show you everything because, of course, there's got to be stuff for you to tune into, mysteries left
I
for
mean,
you
it's
to
one of those
explore.
things where you could either be getting a Star Wars Episode 4, or you could be getting a Star Wars Episode 7. Both
Well
of
done.
these, when they're by themselves, both of these are good movies. One is a great movie, but both of them are good movies by themselves. But as soon as the story moves forward, uh, everything becomes irrelevant in one movie and entirely relevant in the other one, and that's the difference. That'll be like, oh, like you could watch the movie and say, oh yeah, get The Force Awakens at 8 when it came out, and then you watch The Last Jedi and the atrocity of Episode 9. Oh god. And
And then you're like, oh,
you're like, okay, so for all of the positives that I had, like, oh, where are we going with this? Where are we going with that? We just didn't do anything with it at all. And you essentially watched an hour and a half of movie that was left irrelevant, and the other 30 minutes was just one giant nostalgia hit. Like, that's all it was one giant nostalgia hit for 30 minutes, because the rest of it doesn't fucking mean anything. So yeah, if going forward, all of the stuff that they hint around and about and give you that little bit of foreshadowing, if they forget all that stuff, then that's going to make the season go down in value, actually, or in a person's rating of it. But I don't think that that's going to happen if this is a spin-off of The Boys, because it hasn't happened with The Boys yet. The Boys
no,
has still been on an upward swing,
like the thing with
like
the
The Boys'
boys,
level or better every fucking season.
the thing with the boys is the boys has never, for me, and I don't know if you feel the same way, but I think, given our ratings when we've talked about it, the boys has never uh, disappointed me any season. We're 3 seasons in, and I would dare say the third season is just as strong as any of the other seasons.
Oh
Uh,
yeah,
and the storylines
starting to
always,
go into Shield territory.
oh yeah, and uh, we even get that feeling of them maybe approaching the end game because we know at the end of the season it's been revealed that Butcher is dying, so now he's on a time limit, and
Yep.
you can't have the boys without Billy Butcher. So I'm I have to believe that we're coming to the end game. See that plug? Anyways, we're coming to the what it's all been about and where we're going because if you kill off Billy Butcher, the boys is done. At least for me, because Billy Butcher's the man. I don't see how you could kill him off and still have the show. You know what I mean? Uh, but I see where they could do a lot of things and stuff like that. With Gen V, this is a strong start. This is like season 1 of The Boys, and I'd say, I don't know if you agree with me on this one, but I personally feel like this might even be a stronger start than the original Boys. I mean, it's hard
Um,
because there's so many great scenes in the.
well, no, I would agree that it probably is a stronger start because Robin doesn't get killed until the end of the episode, whereas Marie's parents get killed in the first scene. Well, not the end of the episode, but it's
Not
not the
only
first
that, but
fucking scene.
not only that, but the thing that I like about this show is that they establish heroes and supervillains in this. This feels like kind of a marvelous show in a sense.
Yeah,
There's
so
like
what is Homelander building his Injustice League then, or what?
I'm gonna say he is, because that play at the end
Like,
was
what is he doing
definitely.
with them? I don't think those two are getting put in the seven.
I mean, it's
Like,
strongly
nobody
implied
even
they're
knows who
called.
the fuck Sam is.
No,
Nobody
no,
knows who he is.
but they said the Guardians of Godolkin. So
The
maybe he's.
Guardians.
So I'm thinking maybe he's building a little subsection of loyal people. And the other thing that I like that most spin-offs make a mistake. They either rely too heavily on the first show, or they don't use enough of the first show to make it feel like it's tied in. I think this has a good balance because I can see these things in the fourth season of The Boys. You know what I mean? Like maybe they
Yeah.
might make an appearance or they might reference them. Like this could be a faction that Billy and them have
Well,
to
I would
face
really
later.
hope that at some point, at least one or two characters from this show is in at least an episode of The Boys at this point.
Oh my God! Could you picture Marie, Andre, Emma, and Jordan teaming up with Billy?
That's what I was thinking.
That's what I was thinking too. Oh my God, we're on the
Yeah.
same page. What a wonderful thing. So, like, picture them teaming up to fight Homelander and like Sam and Kate at the end of an episode or something like that. That would be awesome because remember, half the seven is either gone or dead. Black Noir was killed. The Deep is off somewhere. No, the Deep is still around, but like he's got Deep, but like Queen Maeve is gone.
I thought the Deep was
Uh,
in Sandusky. The Deep got called back up.
I believe at the end he got called back up. I have to rewatch. Yeah, he did because that last episode where he's like, "You all follow the fucking program or I'll kill everybody." Yeah, so the Deep is still there. So you have the Deep and Homelander, but the rest of them are all fucking dead or they left. Starlight quit. A Train. I think
Okay,
A
well,
Train's alive, but I think he's gone.
now I just hope that they keep everything straight. And there's not a whole bunch of either flashback episodes in either show or flash forwards in either show or whatever. And no, like, in the meantime, like, I don't want to have a season of Gen V where it's like, well, this season is supposed to take place during the season of the boys and not immediately afterwards. No, I want you to keep the timeline straightforward, not just cleared up. I want it straightforward. Like
No, because the way.
everything that happened in the boys happened before everything that happened in Gen V, and now when season 4 comes out, it has to pick up after this season. I don't want it picking up like halfway in between, and we're like, oh, Homelander is getting a call from Ashley so that he can go and save her. Oh, I know what that is. I don't want that shit to happen. I don't want that lame ass crossover the way that they crossed over the movies with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. when they just go, oh yeah, there's a big purple guy attacking New York.
No, I have to believe, or I want to believe that the writing is stronger. Because
Let's hope so.
When you watch Gen V, even the stuff with Newman and stuff, remember when she was outed at the end of season 3, they brought that up at the end of Gen V. So they're clearly connecting all the plot points and everything together. And
Yeah, I just want it to go straight forward. I don't want the time hopping around bullshit. That's it. That's my only request.
So I think a lot of how they're connecting it and whether or not it's going to make sense or be good is going to be based on how they handle The Boys season 4. Like we've got to see clear connections fall out from the season of Gen V, like them mentioning, oh, Homelander had to go to
The virus
Godolkin.
needs to be a plot point.
Yeah, like they at least have to acknowledge everything that happened, and they did acknowledge him lasering the guy at the end, so we know that wasn't a Dre. Like that's a whole thing, and they said,
Yeah,
oh
because
yeah, he lasered
what
him.
I'm terrified about is that there's going to be like an episode where Billy's gone on his own for most of the episode, and they're like, well, he's on a secret mission. And that's going to be when he goes to Godolkin in what we just saw at the post-credit scene or mid-credit scene or whatever. Like, I'm terrified that they're going to play it that way. And like you said, it has good writing, so hopefully not. But
I mean,
until
we
it
are.
doesn't happen, I will always have it in the back of my mind. Like, I won't be sitting here all season being like, okay, where does this pick up? Where does this pick up? Like, if it picks up with him in that basement, right in episode number 1, that'd be fucking perfect. Because then I know we're just jumping from one to the next to the next.
Oh, so you want like a smooth transition? Like, okay, you
How
showed
it
this
used to,
mid-credit.
how it used to be in Marvel when they were doing Phase 1, and you're like, oh, that's the movie that we're doing next. Like, oh, there's Captain America's shield. Oh, now we're going to do the Captain America movie. Oh, there's Thor's hammer. Now we're going to do the Thor movie. Like, that's exactly how it's supposed to go.
Well, we're gonna have to wait and see for that and The Boys season 4. But all in all, we gave this season a 9 out of 10. I think it was a good
9 out
season
of
of
10.
television. We talked 3 hours recapping everything, so hopefully you guys got a good idea of the show and why we like it. We think it's a good show. Everybody should watch it. Definitely support it.
Oh, most
And,
definitely. I mean, if you
and
haven't seen The Boys, there might be, some stuff that doesn't, like, make as much sense as it could otherwise. And you're not going to understand any of the cameos exactly. Like, the director showing up and being one of the teachers. If you've never seen The Boys, you don't know anything about him, which means you don't know any of his backstory or anything that happened between him and any of the other characters on the show. But it doesn't make it unwatchable.
yeah, because
Like
agreed.
you might miss a chuckle here or there, but you will understand the entire plot of Gen V without watching The Boys.
And let me get to that point right there. You make an excellent point right away. I think this works as not only a spin-off show, but a way to connect to the main show in that you don't have to know the cameos to get the plot of this show, but it does add something if you've been following the boys and everything that's been going on in that show. And I think this is the prime example of a pitch perfect spinoff. Like, I don't
Oh
think,
yeah,
I don't think,
it's better than Frasier.
oh yeah, you could not have done a better spinoff than this with the way that they not only include people who already know the lore and who have been following the boys, but people who might just watch Gen V and be like, oh shit, there's a show called The Boys, let me check this out. Like, I think this is a great um, introductory into the world of The Boys. Now, I can't decide. I don't know which is raunchier because
Ooh,
they show some wild shit in this. Like, uh,
The Boys is raunchier.
I don't know. I feel like it's close because
I mean,
uh,
for being in college, you'd think that it'd be more sexually charged, and it's not more sexually charged than The Boys is.
I mean, that's a fair point because I was gonna say the dick explosion scene, but we had that in The Boys first. So,
Yeah, I think it was worse than The Boys because
oh yeah, because he exploded the whole
exploded
entire
the
fucking
front of his
body.
body. Yeah.
So yeah, you might be right. The Boys holds a slighter edge, but
They've just
I
been
like.
doing it longer.
Yeah, they've been experimenting with stuff longer, but I do like the the feeling I get is they're not trying to one up the show. They're not trying to compete, which could be raunchier, which could be more crazy. It's
Oh,
just
I'm up for that competition though.
it's just they both work in their own universe. The character work is really good. Very strong character building. A very compelling story. I think this one pulls you in right away. Um, and the cameos to me were so well placed. Okay, so me and you have watched tons of shows that try to get that nostalgia, right? They're like, oh, remember this show? Remember this guy? Disney is famous for this, right? Whether it's Star Wars or Marvel, they always try to hit that nostalgia button, like, oh, you like this because of this. I think this is the best use of cameos I've seen in a show in quite some time. Every cameo in this show that's placed has a very specific reason to the story of why it works. Now, we could maybe say Homelander's part was a little bit just kind of pushed in there for big fanfare.
No, I think that was kind of a shot at Superman. That's
Yeah,
the way
like,
that I took it. Maybe it's because I had watched The Flash, and I was like, okay, why everyone always says to all the other superheroes, like, they're dealing with the issue? Who's ever dealing with the issue? Like, Flash, Green Lantern, Batman, who's ever dealing with the issue, they're like, well, why didn't you just call Superman? Like, why don't you just have Superman come and help? You know, just get Superman. And
and
this was,
this is
and this is
no,
where,
that's a very good.
right, this is where Ashley gets on the phone. She's like, fucking send Homelander! And I thought that the episode was going to end where he would, like, you'd see him land and you wouldn't even see Anthony Starr, and then that would be it. That's what I
Nope,
thought was going to happen. But
nope.
they're
They.
like, no, they actually give him a scene, which was good,
Oh yeah,
real
yeah,
good.
and that really shows the credit of the actors in this show too, because they have stood up by themselves. You don't need Homelander to make these characters likable or for us to get to like these individual characters. We followed them all along. The bonus was them acting alongside Homelander and seeing how he would deal essentially with these people he's never met in the universe
Nope.
and what that would turn out to be. And the implications, like, they gotta bring this up in season 4. There's no way that they don't bring up at least him making a remark or saying something, because the implication was they were picking spots for the 7. So does that mean Sam and Kate have a
I just
spot
assume
in the
that
7?
Homelander is going to say something about, like, I had to go deal with those fucking kids.
I think it would be cool if we saw these two transition into the boys, because there's vacant spots. That
I
would be
mean,
pretty.
I'm game for that.
I think, like, I like their characters too. I
I
think
mean,
they
you know what
fit.
that means. Okay, if they make the transition to the team, you know what that means, right?
They won't be on Gen B.
No, they could potentially be on both shows. It's not like they haven't done that with actors in TV shows before. No, what I was saying was Puppet Homelander.
Oh my god! Oh my god! That would be amazing.
Are you seeing me as a fucking puppet right now, Sam? Uh, yeah? It's gonna be
That
fucking
would be
hilarious.
a puppet Homelander. Yeah, that would be great. But yeah, all in all, thought it was a great season. We gave it a 9. Any last words or anything you want to say? I think we pretty much talked about all we can in this show.
No, I mean, my last words would be the same as Billy's. What a bunch of cunts.
Amen to that. And go check out The Boys Gen V. We give this show a 9 out of 10. unanimously. Me and Pete, we hardly agree on anything, so that means this is a great show, and you should go and check it out.
It's way better than She-Hulk. I'll give you that.
Way better. It's probably way better than half the Marvel catalog, the new stuff, not the old stuff.
You're underestimating.
No, it's way better
It's
than new stuff. Let's be
it's
real.
way better than more than half. More than half.
Oh yeah, yeah. Maybe
Like,
Guardians would give it a run for its money.
pretty much the whole category. Pretty much the whole thing. Pretty much all of Phase 4. This is better than.
Oh yeah.
Easy to say.
Yeah, that's what I was getting towards. This is definitely better than anything Phase 4 has done.
No, I can't say that. Like Phase 4 brought 3 Spider-Men together, so I will eternally be grateful for that.
I'm gonna say Sony, but whatever. We'll have that debate another day.
Sure.
But I will say that this was a great show. Loved watching it. Had a lot of fun. For once, I didn't have to bitch and moan about something, and I'm always happy when I can do a review where I don't feel like I'm taking a painful shit. So that was great.
Doing reviews of shows that you don't like is, I don't know. I don't find them as enjoyable as doing a review for something that I do like.
Yeah, it's very hard to sit through. That's how I felt with
Some
reviewing
people
the
out
first
there
season of
like to be
Batwoman.
angry, other people don't.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I
Anyhow.
do like to be angry, but there's moments in my life where I like to be happy too.
Dude, I know for a fact that you love that very first episode of Ruby Rose getting all wet in handcuffs.
Okay, yes I did, but that doesn't excuse the rest of it. Anyways, don't get me wrong,
You can just watch
I
episode
think
1 over
Ruby
and
Rose
over.
is hot. That doesn't change my opinion of her being hot. Like, and I think Javicia could have been a good replacement. They just fucked her over.
She's
I
hot
actually
too.
feel she's hot. I think she just got a really bad deal. I feel like she really wanted to do a good job, but she just had terrible writers. But anyways, yeah, that's my thoughts on the show. Check me out later. I'm doing a retrospective on the show Billions. I'm gonna start with season 1 and go all the way through season 7. If you haven't checked out the show, it's great. I'll get to the final season. I'm a little conflicted about how I feel about the final episode, but all in all, Billions is a great show. Makes me rich. Makes me wish I was fucking rich. There's like Mark Cuban is in the show, a bunch of people. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, The Game is in one of the episodes.
Triple H?
Yeah, they play his theme song too. He's in the final season in he's in season 7 in the final episode. He's like,
which song?
It's all about the game and how you play it.
It's all about controlling it. You can take it.
Take it. Well, anyways, I'm gonna be doing a review on Billions. There's also a ton of they got it's Showtime, so they got the premium guest stars in the show. Metallica is in the 2nd season of the show. They're actually the whole band is in the show. There's it's one of my favorite shows. It's definitely it shows corporate corruption and greed and all sorts of stuff, but I'm going to be doing a review on it. I'm going to do my Halloween top 10 horror list. I say Halloween, but all of the scary movies. I decided to wait till December because in November there's other Halloween movies coming out. Thanksgiving, which I'm looking really fucking forward to.
That looks
November
good.
11th. That looks great. I can't fucking wait. I know it's gonna be like a cheesy whatever, but it looks like it's designed that way, so I can't wait.
That comes out November 11th.
Yep. I cannot.
And you're gonna see it before you see the Marvels?
Fuck yeah, dude. I love Eli Roth. He's a great fucking horror producer. But yeah, I'm going to see that. I will have a review on the Marvels. Maybe we'll do a joint review to get our thoughts on what we think about that. It looks fun. I'm not gonna be like everybody else who's like, oh, it's projected to be. Look, everybody who's doing that, shut the fuck up. I hate this stupid thing that they've created
Yeah,
with
so do not.
pre-sales.
I haven't seen a whole bunch of. Oh, it's so woke. That's why it's failing. Just the raw numbers of. Oh well, it's tracking to be not so hot performing. I was like, okay, is that your entire story? Because if that's your entire story, that's not much of a story. That just means people aren't overly excited for the movie, and you don't have the hype train like you had the hype train leading up to Infinity War. Like, I mean, yeah, the hype train didn't end there because obviously Endgame made more money. Like, that's where the hype train ended. And everything has fallen since then. I mean, we haven't even had an Avengers movie to be able to compare it. That'll be the ultimate comparison with that shit. Because as soon as you get a fucking Avengers movie, and you can say, oh, well, it made more than Ultron, but it made less than the first one. Well, then
Yeah,
yeah, things are still going downhill. I don't expect it to make more than Endgame, but holy shit, if you can't make more than Spider-Man 3 or Far From Home or whatever you want to call it, like you can't make more than that with an Avengers movie, then that's a clear sign that like superhero movies in general are going downhill.
no, not true. I would just say Marvel superhero movies are doing fine. There's a lot of superhero movies that have
What
made
other
money.
superhero movies are doing fine?
I mean, hold on. I'm a little drunk here, so I have to think. But if we're going, so they put it in the superhero genre in general, right? But we still have shows like The Boys and things like that. But if I'm going towards movies, there's been independent superhero movies that have done perfectly fine. There was a superhero movie with Sylvester Stallone. Probably never heard of it. It's on Amazon Prime. It did fucking gangbusters. So it's not the superhero movie, it's the company making the superhero movie. Hell, if we want to use your example, Spider-Man still did well. That's a superhero movie. Still made close to $1 billion.
That's like 2 years ago at this
It
point.
does not matter though. It's not the movie, it's not the genre, it's the people making the movie that are fucking it up. Because that could have been one of those stories too. Hell, I know Guardians didn't do as well as they expected, but still made a lot of fucking money. And oh yeah, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. That did well too. It's fucking animated. And that was recently.
Yeah, I get that it's animated.
But I still count it as a movie. Am I wrong? It
I
is
mean,
a
I guess you
animated
can count
movie.
it.
So if we're counting it, then that was less than 2 years. It's like this year. Yeah,
Okay,
it is
but
this year.
the second one did not. The second one didn't do better than the first one, though.
Yes, it did. It made
Are you
150
sure?
million. Yes, it made 150 million more than the first movie.
Hmm.
So it topped. So there's no fucking excuse. It topped the original Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse movie. There's no reason for other superhero movies to bitch that there's fatigue. That's bullshit. There's not fatigue. There's you didn't make a good fucking movie. Haven't made good movies, and hell, I would
Okay,
argue for Guardians.
I don't know. That's tough to say, guy, because that goes both ways. Because I mean, we've talked. Both of us have talked to plenty of people, and I would say we've come to the consensus that Infinity War is a better movie than Endgame. Like, with the amount of people we've talked to, I would say that's the consensus we've both gotten. But Endgame made more money, which means the hype counts for a shit ton of fucking money. Even if we're just talking the percentage and not like the total, like that's an extra $500 million off of 3 billion or 2.5 billion if you're talking the first movie. You know what I'm saying? Like, holy fuck, man! Like the hype
Yeah,
train
but
is
I'm
worth a lot
talking.
of
I'm
money.
talking. I'm talking in this age when they use that stupid excuse. that, oh, it's because there's superhero fatigue or the market is bad or COVID. It's bullshit excuses because there's still superhero movies that aren't made by Marvel or even DC. Sorry DC, I love you still though. But it still proves that there are superhero movies that are doing well despite this bullshit. Oh, it's fatigue. The genre is getting tired. No, the people are getting tired of shitty movies. And I'm not talking about just the politics, I'm just talking about the movie in general is terrible. So I don't buy the whole, oh, it matters the company or anything else. People are still interested in watching superhero stuff. It's just how you tell them the story. It's just what the story's about. I mean, I know these are shows, but perfect example, what we just talked about, Gen V or The Boys. Or Invincible. Invincible got a shit ton of views for its new season.
I was so confused when I started watching episode 1. I was like, what the fuck is going on right now?
And then you get to
What
the ending, right?
happened? Well, not the very, yeah, yeah, right towards the end, and I was like, oh, okay, gotcha. We're good
Yeah,
now.
it's not for me. And I say this in a broad sense. The it's not the genre itself. You can, I mean, how many, here's a perfect example. How many fucking Fast and Furious movies are, and I fall into this category. I will admit it. I fucking love me some Fast and Furious. They don't make sense. The story hasn't made sense in years. I know, but how many fucking Fast and Furious movies there are, and they still make a ridiculous amount of money because it doesn't matter
Not
that it's
all,
a
okay, but
car movie with explosions. It's just entertaining. And that's the thing.
right?
A
But
lot
you're
of the
telling
Marvel
me, like,
movies are a chore to sit through.
if I look up a graph, you're telling me if I just look up the graph of the money, and let's just say it's adjusted for inflation to make it easy, and it's not just a straight number, whatever. You don't think that it's going to make a wave?
Oh no, it most certainly between 1, 2, and 3.
That's
But
what I'm saying. No, that's
they've
what I'm
gone up
saying.
since 4, 5, 6, 7,
That's
and
what
8.
the superhero fatigue is the natural wave of how
No,
many people are
it's not a
invested.
natural way because it went up, 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 and that motherfucker has been plummeting down for Marvel. That's the difference. And same thing for DC. I won't be biased in this case. It went up, it hit its fucking peak, and there's no valleys anymore. They're just fucking dipping down. And yes, they made millions, but here's the problem. The millions that they're making in the box office is not covering the cost. Every movie, including Guardians 3, which I think is a bunch of shit. I love Guardians 3. I think it was
Well, it's
fucking great. It's on
amazing.
my top 10 list, but it lost money. All of the
It's my
movies that have
favorite
come
movie
off
of the year.
have lost millions of dollars. Not just thousands, not just hundreds of thousands. They lost millions of dollars compared to the gross and the marketing of each movie. And they're getting fucking killed that way. And that's a problem. They lost millions. It can't be denied anymore. You can't make an excuse. There's literal hard numbers. They've lost millions compared to what they paid to make the movie. And I know what people are going to say, oh, COVID, blah, blah, blah. No, this is pre-COVID and after COVID. They're losing fucking money. And why they're losing money is because even when you have a great movie like Guardians 3, you have it sandwiched in between shitty shows and a terrible movie that followed it. Even Ant-Man, I did not like that whole movie, but I will say Jonathan Majors was a
Quantum
highlight.
Mania?
I thought it was fucking terrible except for Jonathan Majors.
I
And
like it.
because
It's
Paul Rudd. Paul Rudd is a fucking national treasure. I love that
yes.
man. He's great. He's great in the role. The problem is the script is terrible. It's all over the place. It's not a good
The
movie.
third movie. It's all well. Okay, if you say that it's not a good movie, my counter would be that it's not a bad movie.
It's it's not. No, it's not bad as in
Because I'm not going to sit
Captain
here and
Marvel bad,
argue that it's
but
a good movie,
it's
but I
not.
don't think you're going to sit there and
I'm
argue
not gonna
that it's a
watch it again.
bad movie.
I'll put it to you this way.
I don't
It was
know if I'll watch it again.
it was good enough. No, I mean myself. It was good enough for me to watch the first
No, that's what I'm
time.
saying.
I appreciate the things that it did, but it's not something I go back and watch again. Ever. I will never watch that movie again. It was fucking 2.5, 3 hours, and I didn't feel it. I wasted as much time as Thor: Love and Thunder, but it's still one will forget most of it and
Like
never
me
watch
some
again.
Thor,
Thor: Love and
Love
Thunder
and
was fucking
Thunder.
atrocious. I will never watch that piece of
It's
shit again. That was too
it's
terrible,
not
and it dropped off
atrocious.
of. It is. It dropped off a cliff. It lost 200
No,
million.
it's
Give it
not
up. It's a
atrocious.
fucking
It's
bad movie.
It's not a bad movie. It's a predictable movie, which
No,
makes it a
it's bad.
disappointing movie.
They beat Gord the God Butcher with fucking love. Are you telling me that's a good Marvel movie? That's bullshit. It's
Well,
fucking garbage. They beat
that's
the most powerful
dude.
being with love.
Okay,
Oh,
you
we love each
love
other. Oh, you're
you
right. I'm gonna give up my quest of evil. That's fucking garbage. It's garbage. That is the lamest, stupidest fucking ending for a movie I've seen in
and
years.
how did they beat the Winter Soldier?
They whooped his ass several times, and then they beat the shit out of him until he remembered who
Right.
this was. No, this is not the same. They
That's
literally
exactly the
held
same.
hands and did kumbaya to beat Thor, the Gord the God
They
Butcher.
didn't fight him at all. They fought him a whole bunch, guy. Come on.
It was garbage. You know it was
It
garbage. Stop
happens
lying
all
to
the
yourself.
time.
It
It
was
happens all.
fucking
It
stupid.
definitely was not garbage.
It was garbage, hot garbage. I would say I
And
like
and
watching the original Black
I
Panther
do love the
more
part
than that
how
movie.
Milne. I do love the part how the Hammer listens to Thor.
That was stupid too. The whole thing was stupid. The
I
screaming
love that
goats,
part.
the fucking weird
Oh,
love
the
story
screaming
between him and
goat is
his
so funny.
hammer. It was all fucking nonsense. And that's the problem with these movies. And obviously, I'm not the only one who feels this way, PB, because it lost a fucking $100 million. So I'm not the only one who thought it was a fucking stupid movie. Lots of other people thought it was stupid because it did not make its money back. It lost millions, and it's not going to recuperate any of that fucking money. And we're not talking about, oh, I hate it because Disney made it. We're talking about hard facts and numbers. It lost money. It's fucking done it over with. It was a failure on paper, clear and simple, and there's no redeeming it. It's look, we could talk shit about Captain Marvel, right? We both didn't like it. I personally think it's boring, but a lot of other people didn't. It was a success. No matter how much we argue, it made $1 billion. We could say
I don't think there's a lot of people out there that think that it's an exciting movie. That's not a
I think we can agree that uh, we could both agree it's not very exciting. But here's the thing. I have talked to a lot of people in the theater, a couple of friends that I know and stuff like that. There is legitimate people out there for some weird fucking reason. Maybe it's Brie Larson. I'm going to contribute 90% of it being Brie Larson in that suit, that they fucking liked Captain Marvel. They watched it several times. The only way a movie makes $1 billion if people watch it more than once. You can watch it the first time it premieres, but to reach $1 billion, there has to be a fuck ton of people watching that movie several times. So that means people, even though they saw it once, they went back in the theater and they rewatched that fucker again. They
Thank
paid
you.
full price. So, uh, no, I'm not slandering Brie, Perp. I'm just stating facts. So that movie made $1 billion because there were legitimately people who liked that movie. Thor: Love and Thunder dropped off a fucking cliff after the first week. It took a nosedive, you know those charts, and you were explaining the up and down and whatever else. That motherfucker went up and dropped straight fucking down. There was no peaks and valleys. It dropped like a fucking stone down to the bottom of the fucking earth because people saw it and they said this is shit. They told friends. Hopefully they prevented people from seeing those stupid fucking screaming goats. which was funny the first time,
Oh,
fucking annoying the rest of the fucking movie. That was the stupidest, dumbest fucking scene besides Zeus fucking stripping his clothes. Oh my god, that whole fucking movie pissed me the fuck off. I'm actually surprised.
yeah.
And then I waited the whole entire movie, 2.5 to 3 hours of watching that fucking piece of shit film. I waited for some kind of big epic battle where Thor would beat the shit out of Gord, and friends would become enemies, enemies would become friends, we'd all become richer from the fucking experience. No, they beat fucking Gord the God Butcher by the power of love. Fucking gay. That is the stupidest fucking thing to
Power
ever happen,
of
and
love.
it is fucking
That's a good
ridiculous.
song.
No,
That's from the 80s, right? Power of Love?
no, the song's great. The fucking practice of it in this movie is fucking stupid. It's oh, I got cancer. Oh, I love my child too. Oh, I should stop my conquest and sacrifice myself to save the world. Fuck you.
Yeah.
They wasted Christian Bale. And by the way, how many times did he appear in the movie? I can answer that because I counted it 4 times. 4 times you see one of the best actors, Christian Bale, acting his ass off in every scene. You only see him 4 fucking times in that whole entire movie. Literally the whole movie's supposed to be about him and Thor in this epic fucking battle. We see the fucking dumb cunt Valkyrie bitch. We see fucking Jane, who I don't give a shit
Whoa.
about. We see the fucking hammer more than fucking the main villain of your movie. No, it's fucking garbage. And that's why the fucking superhero genre has gone up and down, up and down. And it's not other movies, and it's not other companies making the movies. It's these companies making these generic piece of shit movies. Like DC too. I'll throw DC under the bus. There was no fucking reason to release that Flash film. I don't need to see it to know it was a piece of
Yes,
shit.
it was.
Babies
It
fucking
wasn't a
falling
piece
out
of
of the
shit.
window looked
Oh my
fucking
god, that was
terrible.
so funny.
No, they look terrible. It looks terrible. And fuck Ezra Miller. He looks like a piece of shit. And why the fuck would I want to sit through a fucking 3-hour movie of him talking to himself when I already hate the original? And now I gotta deal with a fucking more
I don't know.
annoying version of him?
He yells at himself. He yells at himself going in both directions. I thought you might appreciate that.
No, no, I don't appreciate it. I don't appreciate him being in the fucking series. No, I didn't want one version. Why the fuck am I gonna sit through 2 versions of him? No, I couldn't do it. I tried. I was gonna sit down and fucking give it a fair shake, and I got into the first like fucking 10-20 minutes and I turned it off. I couldn't do it. I can't do it. I can't fucking deal with knowing this piece of shit not only gets to stay in his movie after all the shitty things that he did, but he's not even good. He is the worst Flash in the history of DC Flashes. Any other Flash in the history of Flash appearing has been better than him. He even runs fucking ridiculous. And Bitchy pointed that out to me. He runs like a fucking idiot.
He doesn't
Fuck
run quite like
Flash.
an idiot in this movie. He changes running style a little bit.
I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I think I don't believe he could do anything fucking productive or progressive. I think he's a piece of shit. I think he brings the whole movie down. And I'm glad Zod has his moments, but really what we need is an R-rated Zod movie. That's my pitch, an R-rated Zod movie for 2024. Just show him coming to Earth fucking shit up. Boom. Great origin story. DC, call me back. But fucking and you waste Michael Keaton, like, come
Why
on,
do you keep
even
saying that everyone is being wasted instead of being utilized?
no, he was fucking wasted. I know how he was used in the movie. I've seen enough reviews and stuff. And they showed the clips and they thoroughly explained what he was used in, and he was wasted. He was fucking wasted in the movie. What would have been cool is A, don't fucking kill the Michael Keaton Batman, and B, use him as a setup like Batman 2049. How fucking cool would have been for Keaton to be like old man Batman teaching the new Batman, the ways of the superhero or whatever, and he has like a little thing going on there. That would have been cool. Not the way they utilized him for Flashpoint, and that Flashpoint story wasn't even remotely close to how Flashpoint goes. And I'm not just going to say the comics, because I know what you're going to say, the source material. No, even the animated version did fucking Flashpoint way better than the fucking movies did. Fucking Justice League Dark, way better than anything they put out.
that one, or did I?
Yeah, that's the one where like Darkseid comes to Earth and fucking he ripped off fucking Green Arrow's arm
Yeah,
and
I've seen
shit.
that one.
Yeah, like that was like, why couldn't we get a movie like that where Darkseid just comes and starts fucking people over?
No, I would like to see them. That would be pretty sweet if they would just like pick a DC animated movie, and obviously some stuff you might have to like ever so slightly alter for real life components, but instead of making the animated movie, just make it live action. I want to see what fucking happens.
Oh man, like if you got the people who did the animated stuff to do live action, I think we'd have a totally different conversation. Like, I don't know what it is about live action. I love Joker, but I still feel like there's some versions in the animated that's just way better. And this is the problem that DC has, but it's also the problem that Marvel is running into too. You've got some things that are better. Like look at they did that werewolf or what was it? Werewolf by Midnight, that one short movie they did on Disney Plus. It was fucking great. Yeah, I think it was Werewolf by Midnight, and it had they introduced Elsa Bloodstone, and they did it in black and white. It was fucking awesome. It was experimental. It was unique. And why could they do that as a full-fledged film? Like these companies, the problem is they're not taking chances. And this will swing it back around to The Boys now. This is the difference between shows like The Boys and Gen V. They're actually taking chances and making ultraviolet, mature content. Which is why, actually, I'm looking forward to Echo. This looks like
it's gonna be good.
Oh, yeah, I have fucking high hopes. I'm not going to lie. I think this might be... I don't want to get my hopes up. I don't want to get my heart broken. But I'm just going to call it. I think this might be the best Disney Plus show to come out.
Wait, not just Marvel? Disney Plus as a whole?
I'm going to say Disney Plus as a whole.
Oh. That's higher praise. Not much higher praise, but higher praise.
Because Disney Plus has been the stream of older movies and shows we've already seen, and I don't really count them. Like, yes, it's not going to be Infinity War and Endgame or anything else like that. But those already came out. They had their run. I think as far as fresh, new content, this is going to be the best that they've provided. And I'm going to show everybody why before we go. We're going to end this stream on a nice positive note. Let's fucking watch that trailer one more time, PB, because I think we should.
Sweet.
I like, oh my god.
Maya.
Finally, what I care about.
I
Dude,
see everything that
the
you
Native
are.
Americans have been getting fucked over for years.
I always have.
Like, look at this! Bam! He just beat the shit out of this guy.
Oh. He beat the shit out of him because he was meant to be mocking her? Did he know he was mocking her?
He's Fisk. I don't think he really fucking
Don't be
cares.
afraid.
Like, look, that dude's got brain damage. I don't know.
Damn.
But just fucking...
You have so much pain in you. You. of so much rage that you can't contain it.
Like, dude, got shot in the neck. They're staring at me.
You and I are the same. So,
Ouch.
who's the monster?
Oh yeah, and that's probably gonna be our next fucking review. I'm super excited. I can't wait. I can't wait for us to review that show. But thank you everybody for watching. Hit that like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. PB, you got anything coming, or are you just like
Oh no, I'm just a bag in the breeze.
that was very profound. And as
Sure.
always, remember here in the Phantom Zone, there is only one rule: kneel before.
Monster truck representation matters.